And I think we are live. We got Vanessa Kitty in the side here. Nobody else. How come up here says live in 2 minutes? Oh. So we have Clint Eastwood is here and Dr. Zink. Andy.
All right, Clint, stop.
Oh, I can hear that.
That was you. You going live is what beat it.
How you doing, Vanessa? Andy got a bucket of goodness, but we'll wait till more people show up before we talk about that. So, did you go shooting, Andy?
Hell no. I was hoping to go to. I was figuring maybe tomorrow. Even though I have the cleaning lady, I can get out maybe for a couple hours while she's cleaning. Grant's still home, and get some test fire. Not supposed to rain all day. It's not even going on.
Okay. Well, I shouldn't talk.
Well, you've been making some bullets for those 3 new toys.
Yeah, jeez, yeah.
And so, I know the feel. I just can't go without my backyard and shoot. Almost wish that living upstate in the house we used to have.
Kip is here. Yeah, I don't know what it is about that, those pistols, but there's something cool about them. I don't know what. Great trick.
It's again, they were made well. Okay, they've been around a long time, so there's the nostalgia side of it. And the one that you're gonna, possibly make, back to the steel, the shiny. That's history because it's been used and whatnot, and it's I can understand that.
Yeah, once we saw the other two that showed up, they came in a green box. It was like we're gonna leave these alone. We'll shoot them, but
just get them cleaned up and ready and oiled and shoot them when you want.
We'll take them completely down, detail strip them, go through them, lube them. And I know the gun now really well. So at first it was like totally foreign to me, totally different than anything, pretty much. And now I know it really good. So
you made that spring. That took some doing.
Yeah, I gotta find springs. I was thinking 59 series, but I'm looking at it and it's the same length, but I think the Smith springs are heavier. So I started looking at the 3 or 4 digit Smith and Wessons, and that spring looks more like it. It's more spaced. It's thinner. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I wish I had my gunsmith neighbors like I used to have, and I could just.
It'd be nice if
I could just go over there and say, "Let me see your spring bin." And compare. But I don't have, my buddies anymore. Plus, he had a blue tank, which would have made those look awesome.
Yeah.
So I can't do that anymore. Michael is here. Hey, how's it going, Michael?
But they don't. That's the problem when, like, you go online. Maybe you can find let's say, find the original spring. But to get like the data, the exact length, how many windings, what the spring rate is, all that stuff, you don't get that information, so it makes it hard.
Yeah, I should email wolfsprings.com, Wolf Springs, and tell them, hey, these are real popular right now. It might do you some good if you made springs for that. They only make 1-star spring, and it's like the old 1911 looking one that wasn't very good. And there's Michael. No, they don't have it, Michael.
I wonder though if you know what it is. They would be able to get one of those firearms from somewhere, borrowing it, disassemble, and they could. And I'm sure they've got the equipment to measure all of that. You
Just
know?
Jeff is here. Yeah, I read somewhere where somebody tried to get a custom spring from them, and they were like not very good at, not interested. Hey,
Well,
Jeff.
one spring. What are you going to do?
Yeah. So anyway, I will figure it out. I just don't want to buy a bunch of springs to find out it's just like my CZ springs or whatever I have in
Yeah.
there. I even had a Tokarev spring I found in the box, which was more like it. It's just longer. It's almost identical. It's just longer, little wider inner diameter. But anyway, I got to figure it out. I can make them out of CZs, high powers, EAA witness, which
Well,
is
you can make it. You figured that out. I mean, you said it was a little stiffer, so it's cut a winding off. You know what I mean?
yeah. It took time because I had to cut, test. It wouldn't
Yeah.
go. It wouldn't go in the gun at first. It's a little thicker gauge, and it was hard to get the guide rod in there. And then it was a matter of length and will it bottom out? I had to check that. And each time you got to take, the guide
Yeah.
rod apart.
Yeah. Well, it's like me with the Rossi. You know how many times I took that apart? Playing with the two different springs?
My fingers hurt that day, my friend. My
Oh,
fingers.
yeah.
And you can't, it's really hard to do it without a tool because you're holding down that heavy spring and trying to put that little pin in there after you screw the one end on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I didn't do a video. I had a whole video on it, but I had a tool I used for welding in the garage, and I modified one of those skinny pairs of vice grips, and I had a hole in the middle. I cut,
Yeah.
and it's smooth, and so I just pulled the spring down, grabbed that,
Right.
holds
Well,
the holds the spring, so you one handed, and you just want to make sure you don't squeeze where the threading is at the end because you don't want to, screw that up.
yeah. Well, I'm just thinking if you could get a piece of tubing, not aluminum, obviously, but like a steel piece of tubing that would fit over the rod.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
won't work because it has a flat at the end. The end's got a big bulging flat, so you can't just do it that way.
Oh, okay.
And there are spring compression tools, gunsmithing tools that
Right.
probably work, but I just use that vice grip. It's smooth, that little hole in the middle of it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's
You
skinny,
could probably
skinny needle nose type.
make a tuning fork out of a piece of flat steel.
Yeah,
You just cut a U in it so you could slip it around
Yeah.
the pin, whatever, and then just push down on it. That
well,
might help.
this works, so I don't need anything.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, just saying that one tool would probably do a lot of guns, But yeah.
Yeah, this one would do a lot of guns. I made it for something. I can't remember, but I did weld with it also because it's got a nice blue hue to it now. And it's just a cheap little needle nose vice grip,
Yeah. All right. No. Yeah. I mean, there's always I went through that with the Rossi, just taking that the action spring, whatever it's called.
Ejector spring.
No, not the ejector spring so much.
Oh.
It's on the hammer spring, I guess maybe.
Oh yeah.
They tell you, push it down, stick a paper clip in there. So,
Yeah.
the fucking paper clip bent from the pressure. So it's like I made something that I could just easily push down, like a tuning fork type thing. I could stick it between the spring coils and just push it anywhere and stick the pin in. That worked.
I can't remember what I did on the Rossi, but yeah, I totally took that down and sweetened her up a little bit. Jag1 is here. Old One guy is here. Good to see you guys. We got 10 watching.
12 watching. Just went to 12.
Oh, okay.
A lot of lurkers.
There must be something on TV tonight. I don't know. Let's see. They got the wrestling thing, championships. What else is going on? I heard there was some tornadoes.
Yeah, they had some bad weather somewhere out there.
Yeah, I think Meg was texting about that. Their parents' house or something. I haven't gone through the.
What is it, Jesse B Outdoors? Where's he, Ohio?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm not sure where he is, but he had them. I went through his area too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to check my text and see what's going on. We don't really have tornadoes around here. Dust devils. Tornadoes and earthquakes are very scary. They're probably the scariest. Well, floods would be bad, but yeah, tsunamis would be bad. But yeah, I remember being on the computer a long time ago, big earthquake. It was really freaky. Everything shook, falling over, everything. That was pretty damn scary. You can't do nothing about it. Curl into a ball and lay on the floor. That's about it. Oh, you still there, Andy?
Yeah, why?
Okay.
I'm just listening. I'm looking at things and I'm finding videos like that I want that I. Every time I do open up something on YouTube, you get the whole thing on the side of all these videos, and I go through them all as we're chatting, and it's that's good. I right click on it, open it up, and then save it to watch later. So, I've been seeing so many of my videos coming up inside videos lately. That's been cool.
Yeah.
I just hope other people are getting it, but I get the reports and the monthly report from YouTube, and I'm like, you what? It's 3,000 views of all your videos. Like what? People are watching it. They may not be liking it per se or commenting, but they're seeing it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just Jeff is saying great. No, I'm far away from Salt Lake. Yeah. Yeah, when I got a strike, I was worried about a couple of videos going down because a lot of people really liked those and they were very appreciative. One was, having a stuck cylinder on your revolver and what to do,
Yeah.
especially if it's loaded and you're at the range, can't open it. So many people thank me for that. And it's got 150,000,
Yeah.
views and a ton of replies. Most of them thank yous. So
I had a video like that, and it was just posting of the video. What's the General Flynn? Was that? I can't think of. He made some crazy. They had a crazy video of him exposing and talking about stuff. I got so many hits on that; it was ridiculous, and YouTube took it down.
KFW is here. Good to see you, KFW. I love that Remington 22. Yep, I should have bought one. There was a couple on consignment, big, heavy barrel ones, match 22 with the peeps. I had an Anschutz once, but it was the cheaper ones, but it had the peeps and everything. Firing pin was dead, so luckily my gunsmith buddy, he got 3 of them because we all had those rifles, and so it fixed. I guess 3 came in or something, and they were from shooting matches, and none of the firing pins worked. And luckily, he found them, the exact model, and that was good. They're fun. Chessboard is here. Yeah, I love 22s, especially with peeps. I can't see anymore, but it's still fun. I don't care, it's still fun with peeps. I have a Mossberg with peeps. Really good peeps. The front have different apertures, you got your hood, and you can pick your different front sights. You just flip them, And then it's got that swing over peep on it. It's a lot more crude than the Remington, but it's fun. That's my son's gun. I bought it for him when he was a kid. He calls it Ace. And the funny thing about that gun is you put it on safe, and then you can pull the trigger just a ways, and then you can take it off safe, and it's like a set trigger. It barely, yeah. So I don't know why that, if anyone messed with it or what, but we like it that way, and it's totally safe, but it's a nice feature. You just put it on safe, squeeze it, take safety off. You got a set trigger, really light trigger.
Just do bigger targets.
Bigger targets, yes, you got to use bigger targets for sure. I found that with the M1, the FAL. What else do I shoot with peeps? I should put something on the FAL though, so I can see better. But it's still fun. There's something about peep sights I love. Actually, I could right here in front of me. I can't show you on YouTube. That has peeps on it. The Wolf AR upper, and it comes in a box just like Wolf ammo, black with the Wolf and everything. Same logo as the ammo and everything. Yeah, I could show you the box. Hang on. And of course, I'm only 5 seconds away from anything. Where are we? See that? This is the box, and then it's got a wolf on it, a face.
Yeah.
But look at that. It's the same as the ammo. That is awesome. There we go. Let's do the side. Come on. One time.
Yeah, it's there.
See? I'll put it over here. My son's going to be like, where the hell's my box? Anyway, that's got peeps on it, and we had to test it. It's piston driven, and it's 12.5 inch. And that thing shot, we were hitting everything with it with just the sights. So, and it was just some of my loads, reloads. Did I say chessboard is here? Yeah, I did. Think so. Sorry if I didn't. Western Auto, yeah.
There was an amazing where you could buy a gun years ago.
Oh yeah, Kmart everywhere.
Green stamps. Mine came off. Green stamps.
Yeah,
that's where I got my 30-30 from. My father saved up the green stamps, and he got a 30-30, a Winchester Model 94, 364. Okay, and then he also got the 32 Winchester Special, same model, Model 94, the green stamps.
Chessboard or Gunswatter is here. Hey, Gunswatter. Yeah, the Wolf is kind of, I think where is that made? It's not Russian, it's Taiwan, I think. Anyway, they were famous. They've been around for a long time, those uppers. Probably 8-10 years. Something like that.
I recently had to renew my pistol permit again. It seemed like I did it yesterday. It was 5 years went by already. So I had to, just thinking of the old ways, I went down to Dick's Sporting Goods, the one near me, to renew a hunting license. There's no back tag anymore here in New York State. It's a piece of paper you got to carry in your wallet. It's a white printout paper, from a regular printing machine. Printer. And so I was all excited to go there because I haven't been there in a while. To go walk around and see what's going on. They have zero firearm related anything. That store here on Long Island, they took everything's gone. I know they went down. They got rid of all semi-automatic, and they just had bolt action stuff and a few lever actions. They didn't have much. A few pistols. It's all gone. They had a big area of supplies and everything else. Nothing. I went there to take a view, and that's those old scopes you get. He said gets for you. They always had those there, and it's like I went there and I wondered if they have when he left. That was part of the reason why I'm going. It was like they got nothing. I was so disappointed. And then I go to the pistol place to turn in all my paperwork, and I handed him, hunting licenses and the paperwork is what's this for? I said, well, it's the hunting license. You don't need that anymore. I said, you don't need it. I thought that was part of the license. Hunting, you have to prove the hunting. You have to have a valid hunting license. Nah, not anymore. He said it's changed. And then I didn't know this, but I would have taken care of it when I was there that day. I didn't know until after the fact. Supposedly, the New York State Sheriff's Department, New York State, not a specific county, New York State Sheriff's Department has ruled they cannot put a rifle on a pistol permit. So I could get my Ruger PCC off the permit. And I forgot all about it. I didn't know about it until after the fact, so I got to see what. I don't want to cause any waves, so I got to verify that first.
Well, I hope things change for you because that would drive me crazy. We
Well,
have hardware stores with guns and ammo,
I know.
and you can just go to a hardware store and bring it home.
Well, I mean, everything I bought was that way. I went to the store and bought it. I didn't know. It was just that I had to send the Ruger back to Ruger, and that's what triggered the whole stupid thing. I said, you got to be kidding me. Not like I didn't just buy the rifle. He says, well, according to New York State law, you did because you're signing it over to me, so now it's mine. Okay, it belongs to the store, so the store does this thing when it comes back. It's selling it back to me on paper, and that's why now it's new again, and you have to get it registered. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, hopefully they change all that stuff.
I'm not to worry about it because I mean I'm not doing anything wrong, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, and it's just I'm obeying the laws, so it's like I'm not concerned about it.
When I moved here, it's been a long time now. How long have I been here? 10, 12 years? When I moved here, my Washington carry permit works here. Okay. So I just had that, but I kept stressing out. It's going to expire. It's going to expire. And being that Utah permits cover most states, you have to go in and do a class or something. And I'm like, what the hell? You can't just pay and fingerprint and you're gone? And I lollygagged, and my permit was running out. And then they changed the law. You don't need a permit anymore. So you can carry, So if you can still get the Utah if you want to go to all the other states, but I don't travel anymore. So now I was like, thank God, So we didn't have to do anything. And that was awesome, So
Cool.
yeah, it was I think I went a month without a permit, so that was really stressful for me. And then they changed the law. It's like boom, shebang. Yeah. So
We can do an update on my 44 Magnum CVA. No, I did not shoot it yet. I did put a primer in an empty piece of brass and testify it to make sure it went bang, and it did. And the last couple of live chats, whether it was here or somewhere else, I was asking if anybody had brass, and then the discussion was I got a bunch of 44 special brass, and I was torn between having two different things loaded and all the stuff.
Yeah. That was last week. You were saying if anyone has 44 brass, I'll trade you for
right. Okay.
for special. And then guess what happens? It happens a lot. You're looking
Well,
for
nobody
Yeah.
nobody came up with contacting me about any brass or anything. So the gun range that I go to, the one of the range officers, he calls me up and goes, Andy, you still need some more 44 mag brass? I go, yeah, if you got some. He says, yeah, I got like, a half of a 5-gallon bucket full I've been picking up at the range for you. And he says, you want it? I go, hell yeah. So he dropped me off the back of the bucket. So that should hold me for quite a while.
That is totally awesome when someone gives you a 5-gallon bucket of 44 mag.
Well, a half gallon. I mean, a half of, 2.5 gallons is half a bucket.
Okay.
And I'll take it.
You're set.
He says, I'll keep collecting it for you. I said, well, don't go overboard. He says, well, we get during the week, we get a lot of people in shooting some of that stuff, and it's all store-bought ammo. Nobody reloads.
I know. Imagine just gacking a revolver on the floor. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So in all those escapades, I decided to process the 44 special brass because I had nobody seem to be interested in trading, because obviously if you have a 44 mag, you don't want to give up that brass per se. So I processed all the 44 special brass. It's all trimmed to the same length. I don't know the number in my head, but they're all trimmed and ready to go. And I decided to sit down and do my research. And I found out now the powder I have a lot of is like right there with green dot. So it's always been the load data I go with. Well, guess what? In 44 special, I found green dot powder load data, legit data, not something that somebody just put out there, but legit published data.
Yeah.
So what I've worked on now is, because again, I shoot zinc. So the 245 grain bullet in lead actually weighs 247 with the lead, my lead, and it weighs 151 with the zinc. So that's a nice difference. So I'm sitting down and I'm playing with the 44 special, and I said, what can I do here? And I said, well, starting load is like 800 feet per second. I said, let's go up to like 850, 875 starting point, and go up to like 1100, and and with the green dot, see what the range is. So I made a ladder load for that, and then I said, I wonder, I'm using quick bolts. So I left the green dot in and changed to 44 Magnum. And yeah, you can see it's a bigger powder charge, but not by much. But I'm able to shoot the same and get the same velocities that 850 to 1100. So the ladder load's made with those. So the purpose of that is when I go to test the rifle out and I do the ladder load to see if I can come up with, they're going to be different powder levels, but with the accuracy node in ladder tests, if they're coming out at about the same feet per second, there's going to be no target adjustment. At 50 feet, they're both going to hit at the same point. So that should be interesting. That was what I wanted to mention. That I think that's going to be pretty. That's a unique situation if you can do that. And again, I'm not shooting it hot, but I did load up some zinc with 11 grains and they come out at 1,800 feet per second. And see how it works and stuff. But that's not where I'm going to shoot. Okay, I'll keep a few of those loaded always to take a nice hot load shot. But again, with the zinc bullet, it's going to be hot, but it's not going to kill your shoulder because of the weight of the bullet. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's going to work out nice. Because I really don't want to cast in lead if I don't have to. I got so much lead, I don't know what to do with it. I have so much lead. It's all melted down into ingots or whatever type of size thing that I have, and I got 5 gallon buckets all over the place in a shed filled with that. So if there's a point in time I can start offloading that lead. Nice.
Well, it's gold. So when
It,
you're offloading, let me know.
well, again, some people are just going to get some, and other people, hey, I'll trade you something for it. What can you can use the lead. I'm not going to charge you for the lead. So what can you give me? What do you have that I might be interested in?
We got all kinds of range scrap from the backyard. I just recycle that, but gosh, it's
Yeah, well, you keep using it all over and over and over. The only problem is you got different, your lead, some are softer than others. That's the only issue you have, right? Or you
yeah.
try to,
There's anything from slugs, 22s to hard cast. It all mixes together, and it actually works good. So,
well, I guess
if I have to add soft to a pot or whatever, no big deal.
well, I guess if you cast, you have a pot going and you cast them bolts and you put them aside, let them sit for 2 weeks and do a hardness test. You'll know where the pot sits, and you can always change it. Add stuff
Yeah.
to it.
Well, from doing it over the years, I average about 14 BHN, 14, 15 out of just everything out there. And that's
Oh, okay.
little 22s that are soft, slugs
Yeah.
that are soft. And that mixes with the magnums. And then there's copper out there too. So I just melt it all. And it's about 14, maybe to 16 if I did a lot of magnums. So it works.
Yeah, I did the lead that I did cast for the 44. It came in between 14 and 15 BHN. And that should be good enough because I'm not pushing it.
Actually, I'm looking at like 5 containers down here that were bigger than that one. So I gotta make ingots again. Damn it. I think brass first. Oh man, I got so much brass I gotta tumble. I was waiting for, hot weather so I can just bake them in the pans out there and try them out.
My wife has got back into helping me a little bit. She's can I help you? And I go, anytime you want. And she says, yeah, I miss doing this stuff. So now she's coming down and helping me. She'll be, I ran out every, one of the zinc bullets I cast is loaded. I got no bullets left. So I started casting again Thursday for 1 hour. I got about 250 bullets. I can't complain. A half hour, take a break, melt some more zinc, in the pot, go back in the house for 15, 20 minutes, come out another half hour, and I got, the bullets. So I got to do, they're all sitting there, they're sprayed with lube, with the alcohol and lanolin sprayed and waiting to be sized. And I set up the APP, actually the ACP that I have is where I do most of that. And I had one of the double, the new handle they had, the big handle. And I said, how come I never put that on this thing? So I put that on tonight. Set up the sizing die and stuff on it, and it went through real easy. So the wife can do that. She had trouble sizing 44 Magnum, but she had no trouble doing 44 Special. And it's not that big of a difference in case size, but it took more oomph to start to do the Magnum than it did to do the Special. So she sized all of those. I'm trimming all my 44, that bucket I got, I've sized most of them already. Now I'm starting to trim them all for length. And she's doing the hair for the bar, on the I have the Franklin Arsenal grass that prep center, and it's like I forgot I bought RCBS makes a outside would be chamfer, I guess. Yeah, outside chamfer. they made a carbide thing where instead of having those three prongs with that center little pin that you, when you get to the bigger brass, it's hard to get it to work. This thing has got a cavity. You push it into the cavity, it's tapered, so it does any size brass. So with those pins on it in your hand, I forgot all about it. I had that on there. So now the wife can do that, you know.
Yeah.
So she set up to take care of all the chamfering, and you know, so that's good. And so making steady progress. Unfortunately, I can't shoot yet. The weather just isn't there. So, but I'm ready. I've got pretty much everything loaded for testing. So now I'm just prepping shit, and making more bullets, and so and I spend a lot of time. I'll come home from work at night, and I'll turn the zinc pot on, and we watch one of the recorded shows, 45 minutes to an hour. I go out, the pot's ready, and I cast. You know, so it's and I don't spend a lot of time doing that. An hour tops. That's all I need. And that mold, that Lyman mold, that thing is flawless. I mean, it just works. So, I mean, seriously, I put the thing on a hot plate. When I turn on the pot, I come out with the torch. I heat the screw plate up because that's still not as hot enough. I heat that up. First pour, good bullets, done, on my way.
I love the 429 421. That's just awesome. And I do have a single cavity I got from Tim, Tiny Tim, and it's just a joy to use. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, once you have the mold up to the proper temperature for zinc, it works just like using lead, except you got to wait longer for the sprue to dry.
Yeah.
Because the sprue actually dries 2 times. You watch it, you'll see it frost, and then all of a sudden it'll frost again and get like a dark gray. You don't open it till then. So it takes a little longer, right? But the bullets coming out perfect, no smearing, no nothing. It's like the mold is kicking ass. That's really good.
It's a great bullet too. It's a great design. Yeah. The good old Keith bullet.
Yeah, well, I'm in the casting mode right now. It's not hot out here yet, so I just popped the garage door open for air and go to town. And I have two 238 357 molds that I have to cast for that I haven't done yet. That I want to try in the Rossi. Different. It's a lighter than 170 grain. I think it's 158 grain semi-wide cutter. And then I got a round nose too. I think it's 158 grain round nose. So, and that's all to go in zinc. So, Chico Wise.
We have a Chico Wise sighting. How's it going, Chico? When's Jim coming off that mountain? Never. I'm done. Put a fork in me. I'm damn near a hermit. I really don't like traffic or going anywhere. I'm a hermit. Yep. How's Carter doing, Chico? He's probably huge now. Man, how old is he now? He's got to be 15. How old is Carter?
Give him a link. Maybe he'll come on.
Yeah, he's been pretty busy. I haven't seen any videos from Chico in a while.
Yeah, he's popped in last week, I guess it was, on but he just went to Dead Zero, I think, with the guys. So
yeah, Jag, that chicken fried steak's killing me. I got to go find that diner. Yep.
Come down for chicken fried steak.
Yeah, Jag found a great little diner that had wonderful chicken fried steak, and I got a craving for that. I haven't had it forever. Okay, it's 15. Boom! I almost won the game ago. All right. I'll take 15 years old for 200, Alex. Yeah, boom. For once, I got it right. Jeez. Especially with numbers. If I do a reloading video, I always screw up the numbers. Then I got to put a little text in there. Oops. Yeah. I don't know. It's all I can do to get through 5 minutes now.
Yeah, I gotta make some videos. I'm like procrastinating because I got shit everywhere. I got too much going on down in the reloading area right now. So it's like I don't want to clean up just to make the movie. So
Yeah,
I got
I had a guy reply to one of my videos, and I would never reload. That's a liability. Da 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 da. And I told him, I trust my reloads more than I do factory. And you can cater them to your gun, of course. But then he came back. Well, the guy next to me on the bench blew up an AR and almost killed both of us next to him and all that. And I was thinking, well, some people shouldn't drive power equipment, or it's like anything else.
yeah,
If they don't take it seriously. And I said, if he had the right powder, most likely he got a bullet setback in his AR because he didn't crimp it at all. And bam, I don't know.
yeah. I don't. It's like I mean, I think people that are afraid of it because they don't know enough about it, or they witnessed or heard about something that went wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything can go wrong. Anything go wrong when you're driving your car too. So.
Well, factories loaded by machine, and I've seen it all, including backwards bullets.
Oh yeah.
Upside down bullets seated
Yeah,
in.
and how does that get through quality control?
Yeah,
Yeah, the person.
the computer and lasers testing for that upside down bullet where the base is sticking up?
I mean, how does that not catch that? I mean, we do stuff at work, and we have computers that analyze what we're doing, that it's in the spec that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And we can pass hundreds and hundreds of pieces an hour, go through this thing, and it catches on, it stops, and it hasn't missed yet. So it's really up to the person who programmed it for what they're looking for. If they didn't give something the right spec to search for, it's never going to find it, right? And just because it caught one doesn't mean it'll catch the next one. So you really have to be very, very precise in what you're doing. And we're doing more microscopic stuff. A bullet is a large item.
Mm-hmm. I've seen where the AAC ammo, PSA ammo, hey, they make, you can buy blackout and stuff a lot cheaper and everything. Well, they're not. A lot of people are getting bullet setback. The bullets were really loose in there. You can almost, just push them in. That's not good. You got to give a little, a lot of people don't like to, crimp some rifle bullets, but in a semi-auto, use the cullet, crimp, and
I crimp no matter what the rifle or pistol it's going in. I mean,
if it's a semi, it's getting crimped, and if it's a revolver, it's really getting crimped. If it's
right, and I crimp both. My 30-06s are crimped. That crazy crimp, but they're crimped. No,
yeah, just enough to where. And what I'll always do when I set my crimp is I'll go rack that round over and over about 10 times and check it, measure it, measure. And it's not hard to do. You go out and rack it tough, and measure it every so many racks and see.
Well, what's funny is I can use my hardness tester.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. And tighten down, and it gives me a measurement on the gauge. And if let's say I want it to read 75, if it reads anything less than 75, out it comes. I get it a little more. At the end, I do that. Okay, on stuff like that, stuff. And when I tell people I use that, and they said, "How do you use that gauge to test it?" I said, well, it's very simple. There's a pin. I take the pin off and it's flat now, so I can put base to head in between and set this go to just tweak it to 0 and just start turning it. All right, and if I should go 1 revolution or whatever it is. I have it written down in revolution and a half because it's marked, and I'm looking for a certain amount of the swing pressure on it. It is so if it reads 79 is where it at 80 it fails, and the 79 is good. If I get that, I'm happy with it. I think. You know, and I don't have to test every bullet, you know, but I'll test 1 out of every 8 or whatever. You know, but I don't load 5,000 rounds of 30-06 that I got to worry about.
William Gingley is here. How's it going, William? Yeah, another easy test if you can't, go rack one in the backyard. Just go on the desk and smack the bullet against the desk and see if it moves. Or press on it if you want to preserve the tip of the bullet.
Well, I do that with 9mm when I'm first setting the crimp. I push it down and until it doesn't move anymore. Just the fingers push against the edge of the desk. Okay, that looks good.
Yeah. Oh, I had a whole bunch of drama on the 9mm brass video. Beware that FM brass that had the cup inside that made less volume. It's it's cupped inside.
High pressure.
There's 3 companies that made brass like that. Some say it was for bullet setback because it has a shoulder in there, and others say it was for sub guns or machine guns, whatever, for supported chamber. Anyway, I got a bunch of crap about that. I did a whole video on part 2. Didn't upload it. And one guy, this one guy said, I've been loading for 50 years. And for one thing, there's no way you could resize that brass because of the extra, shoulder inside. And boom, I sized him and here you go in the video. Okay, here you go. Easy. And other people that replied in my video said they accidentally loaded it before. So obviously it's sized for them. It was a piece of cake, even though it had that sleeve inside. Then people got on my case calling it an insert. Oh, it's all one piece. Well, why are people so nitpicky on my terminology? And so I debunked that. And then I filled a regular case and that case with powder. And it showed you the difference of volume, which is pressure. And he's like, the same guy said, all guns are made to take 5 times the pressure of the load. They're all tested nowadays and everything. And I'm thinking, you do a hot round with that thing in there in the shell, and a long, heavy bullet, a 147 grain or something. No, I've seen mags blow out of guns. Okay, we've all seen that just from bullet setback. Magazines blow out. The mag release blows out. Some people's fingers get hurt. Maybe the extractor. I've seen it all. So that's a bunch of crap. But when he said I couldn't size it, I had to know. So I go over and size a couple of them. Boom! You couldn't even tell the difference unless you looked down that shell and found out that is wrong. That thing is way less volume. So the powder difference was like here and here,
Yeah, it's like, of course.
And then if you're using tight group that's more picky about your range, you're in trouble. Okay, certain powders like that aren't as forgiving as far as range goes.
It's like I have on Facebook, CVA has a page on Facebook, so I joined it. Some good stuff on it, and so I had said I just received one. I'm going to be loading for it, blah blah blah. But I think I only want to load 44 Magnum, because I don't want to have to deal with carbon rings and stuff. So this one guy comes back and says, well, there's nothing wrong with using a 44 special bricks. Just load the bullet longer. I said, okay. I said, longer? by a good eighth of an inch plus, and he goes, yeah, there's no big deal. It's just use your regular powder charge and make the bullet longer. I said, you kidding me, right? And he goes, I've been loading. I said, look, I've been loading since 1972. I don't care if you've been loading since 1950. I said, you will change the pressure, internal pressures of that cartridge by doing anything like that. You don't know what you're talking about. And like 10 guys came back at this guy and said, are you crazy?
And where is the crimp on your cast bullet when you?
Yeah, where's the, but
Yeah.
the point that's just like, I'm sitting there like, oh my God. Okay. Well, if he's using a cast bullet and it's got two lube grooves, so he's lowering it down, whatever. It's like, you can't just use the same powder charge. Can you extend the bullet? Yes. Can you do it safely? Depends on the bullet. All right. And then you have to know what you're doing with your powder charge, because you've just changed the pressures.
Yeah.
When they make a chart and it goes from 4 to 5 grains of powder, okay, and they're giving you a pressure range, you change the depth of the bullet seating or increase it, that everything changes. Everything works differently. And you can't just throw more powder in if you want to. You got to find out where the pressure levels are.
Yeah, I don't know if it was my dad that told me this or whatever, but he said a lot of people can do something for a long time, but all that means is they've done it a long time.
I've done it wrong for a long time.
If you don't learn anything, meanwhile, it just means you've done it a long time. It doesn't say you learned anything. Right? You can have a guy that loaded for 3 to 5 years and he takes it. He's just intense, totally takes it seriously. He's better off than the guy at 50 years that's complacent and I've done it for 50 years. Well, just because you've done something a long time doesn't mean.
Yeah, and his beam scale is off a tenth,
It just means you've done it a long time. That's all. Of course there's people with huge experience that done a long time, but it depends on how you evolve, or if you evolve, or you just did a long time the same way.
It's like I asked the question of the guy. I said, if you have a beam scale, when was the last time you checked zero?
Or cleaned it?
Well, I'm saying, when was the last time you checked zero with a weight? And when was the last time you checked it?
Yeah, okay. And also clean where the magnets are and everything. Mm-hmm. And no oil. Yeah.
His answer was, you don't have to do that with a beam scale, and everybody was like, was clicking with a laugh, sign. It's like, yeah. So you can right away. I mean, it's like you're watching the quiet people that aren't typing anything, but they're giving their opinion by like the laugh, or it's good, or want to shake their head with anger or whatever. So it's like, it's just funny because it's. I don't know everything about reloading. Okay. But
neither do I.
But I'm working in areas that very few people work in. I'm talking about the zinc, and that's not out of a book.
That's right. Same with suppressor loads; they're not in the book.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, at least I spent the money for the software, so I can get a better idea of what's going on, because I can take any bullet, the dimensions of any bullet, and change the weight. All right. And the same thing, like my 44 Magnum brass is, I'm bad with the numbers, 1.270. I think that's what the number, trim lengths of the brass. Well, if it was 1.790 or 1.80, then you've got more case space or less case space, so your pressures are changing. Okay. And it's like, and then my overall length, because of the bullet now, all that's changed. So you need to have that information to get accurate data out of the software tool. And
Or
you can see, you
yeah.
can change it and watch the powder charge, like you watch the pressure change, you see it. That's what's good about that software for, for the experiment. That's why the few people I've sent zinc bullets to, I said, look, call me on the phone, tell me what powder you're going to use, and I'm going to give you the information you need. I'll give you a range to load it in, I'll give you a max and a min, and go from, start where you want. I said, but don't start at the max. Just, find out where it's at. And nobody's had a problem. The only one that didn't listen to me was Jamie. Was 35 Remington, I think it was, he shot it out. He went a grain higher in the powder than I wanted him to start at. He got good results and got crazy chrono numbers. He says, well, now you know why I wanted you to start a little lower and work your way up to it. But that thing was screaming out of the gun. I said, well, yeah.
Well, it's good to have a chrono, definitely, and then the brass tells you everything a lot. If the brass is black when it comes out, your primers obviously and bulges and all that stuff. But yeah,
my Ruger
brass tells you a ton.
My Ruger PC.
Brass will tell you if your gun's healthy or not, if it's working right. All kinds of stuff. Brass can tell you.
My Ruger was burning like a little bit of the front of it. I never really measured how much is black. Okay, and I've changed, lowered it down, and it's still black. I loaded it up, it's still black. So it may not be 100% sealing.
Or it's because of the blowback and it's the dwell. It's just flying out too fast. Dwell time. Dwell time. And that's fine. If you're in safe loads, it's okay.
Oh, yeah, but I'm just saying, that's the only gun I have that issue with. Everything else I shoot. All right. Well, I don't, even in my 380 pistol, I don't get black brass, so, but it's, again, it's the Ruger PCC. There's the only one that I really get a problem with black brass. My ARs all shoot fine. No black. The bolts shoot fine, and those are loaded much harder than the AR. Most of the time, it's not loaded hot. And again, I'm shooting reduced load, 300 blackout with 8 grains of powder. Give me a break. You know what I mean? And I don't have black soot all over the brass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing about the zinc. How much less power you need to have to achieve a velocity you're looking for.
Yeah.
So that's the fun. That's the good part about it. That's why I had to take that little step back when I was playing with the 44. I have to really look at the numbers and make sure all my measurements are correct and weights and things. And I go, yeah, there's no, the software comes back and tells you if you're burning all your powder, and only one charge I had came back at 98% burn. And I said, well, I won't use that charge. It will bring it up to where it was 100% burn. So it's like on the 44, it's telling me everything's good except the bullet, what do they call it? The bullet maximum pressure is achieved before the bullet leaves the barrel, and therefore it's like the barrel's too long. Is what they're telling me. Okay, but it doesn't mean it's not going to shoot. So it's the lighter bullet. It's travel the different way. It's easier to push, so the pressure changes quicker. I guess that's all it is. But that's the only rifle that's given me. I only think 44 is the only one that's shown up on quick loads for me. It's like it's putting it in as 19 and a half inches. To travel, and it says At 18 inches, it's already reached maximum, and whatever. So it's
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a 9 millimeter with a 16-inch barrel. It's losing velocity in a 16-inch barrel.
yeah.
Or if you shorten her up, 10-inch, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And
my root is cut.
yeah,
Again, the zinc is making up for the speed, so I ain't worried about that. I don't. A tenth of a grain makes a big difference in zinc
yeah.
on a small charge like that. So I'm not so concerned about it. Everything's working fine. Okay, so all my loads are working. Like I said, I've got a bunch of different powders I tried in the 44. See how they react. Okay, and then the zinc, I've got a few different powders as well. And then lead, I got a few different powders as well. So we'll see where it goes. And, if I find the night low, whatever works the best based on the chrono and what the target looks like, that's where am I going to pick the load for. I always shoot for an accuracy note. I don't care about LSDS, whatever the hell all the freaking things are. when that you're getting off your chrono, ES. So I don't care about that. I have numbers that say like 60, and it's like, but I'm shooting a dime at a 50 yards, so I don't care. ESD, ESD, whatever they call it.
Sometimes your standard velocity can be off, but you shot awesome groups.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And then you shoot really, really good standard Ds, and the groups aren't as good as the one that it's just, it's like anything.
Well, to me, I don't, when I'm not worried about that number so much because I'm looking for accuracy. All right. And if I've got the accuracy, then I don't care what the SD is.
But I do love standard D when you're in the threes or below.
Oh yeah, well,
you're like, hell yeah, man, you really did good this time,
Yeah, but that's only good if you got an accurate a nice tight group.
I know,
if you group at 25 yards, something's wrong.
Yeah, but it always feels good to get a standard D of 3 or below. It's just like, oh baby. You almost don't care about the group just because of the standard D. Yeah. I've had good standard Ds with mixed brass, especially 38.
Yeah.
Mixed brass, just down and dirty, and then boom, what the hell?
All my shit is mixed head stamps. I don't sort it. I did, when I first was doing 223, I sorted all the head stamps. And because I was loading hot stuff and I tried to see what if it was different between different brands of brass, and they said so unnoticeable that I said, it doesn't matter. As long as all the brass is the same and everything's the same length and stuff, I don't care. I'm not doing 30 grains of powder in it. It's like, okay, I'm not shooting a super hot load, and most of my targets just not hot at all. And even in the ARs, I have them. I find out where the action's functioning, and I go maybe a half grain more in powder and find the accuracy note at that point.
Well, we finally got the side chat to move. Thanks, Gunswater, for moving the side chat because it's been frozen. That's okay though. If people want to listen, that's fine.
Oh, hey, if they're listening and getting good information in their minds or clearing up questions in their mind, that's what it's all about. I mean, I'm not the wizard here, but with zinc I might be, but with other stuff, not really. I listen to everybody else too.
It's a real easy night for me because I don't have to quote everybody. It's not moving at all. So it's a super easy night. A couple of the last nights, they were going so fast I couldn't keep up with, yeah.
You just jinxed yourself.
No, that's good. I got the perfect night for it because I was up till 5 or 6 in the morning last night. So, yeah, perfect night for not having to quote or follow the side check.
I can't do those late nights, man. I tossed and turned. I told you we changed sleeping pills. We tried that relaxing and sleeping. That doesn't work for me. Okay, melatonin, whatever the hell that shit is called. That's like I tried just using that a long time ago. It did nothing for me. That's what this stuff is the biggest thing about it. And the rest of the stuff is whatever other additives and chemicals they threw in here. And it's like some people say it works great. Other people are saying online, well, it doesn't work for me at all. Rollis.
Rollis, what's up?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. So, just figured I was eating dinner when you first came on, and so I figured I'd pop in for at least a little bit. The niece is coming over for the night, and then she's going to church with Susan in the morning. So, I probably will get kicked out. I'll get kicked out of the studio in a little bit.
That's okay though.
Yeah.
Family first.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just figured I'd pop in and say hi and just do that normal Saturday night thing.
All right. Last time you're on the road last week. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And let's see. I got him something. When did I get it? I don't remember. No, I was going out. Is what was going on. So then I went up to Cincinnati for Monday morning, turned around, came back. I was off Wednesday and then left Thursday and made a delivery just about 100 miles north of Kyle, a town called Lenoir City, Tennessee. And they make the boxes where for the like light post and traffic lights, the heavy duty utility boxes that they put underground. This is where they actually make them. So pretty good week. So I went over and told the girl at the pawn shop, if everything goes as planned, next Thursday, I would like to pick up a Model 57, and she's there. Or at least put money down on it. And she said, well, I'll go ahead and get it ordered for you because, and so hopefully by the, I'll probably leave it, put it on layaway, put, the vast majority down on it. Then over the course of a couple more weeks, break up the last couple hundred just to, and, so that, and Thursday, we're going to do the truss for the silencer I bought last week. And so I'm finally joining you degenerates.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole once you get cans.
Well, there's no tax stamp right now. And Lyman has these, these $350 cans. Yeah, so this is just the time to jump on them and get them now. I already have a 22 put. It's not a Lyman 22. It's the store. They have their own brand, and one of their people manufactures their own. And I picked that up and I've had it paid for a couple weeks now. Just trying to get in there and get all the trust paperwork taken care of. And do everything right there at the store. Don't have to run around half of fucking Florida to get stuff taken care of. And my big thing is I want to get a couple short-barreled rifles before whenever the Democrats do get back in control. They say they're going to jack that. They're going to jack it back up to like $5,000.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll be a very long time, and hopefully the Supreme Court overthrows it. Yep.
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to happen. So get this stuff put away now. Yeah, guns and water. Yeah, like I said, my big thing is short-barreled rifles.
No,
Really?
well, if you
I
look,
really enjoy those. And,
Yeah,
just,
they're the funnest with cans. I like on a pistol, a big heavy can's awkward, but 22 cans are awesome on pistols. And then you get to the pistol brace blowbacks, 10 millimeter, 45 9. They are so fun with the can on them.
right.
They're so fun.
Yeah. Well, see, like that's since it's a zero tax stamp again, and we've had this conversation before. I'm not worried about not being able to, or having to fill out a form just to travel out of state with it. Yeah, and like I've said before, it's just you fill out the form, you just submit it. You don't have to wait for any kind of approvals or anything, from what I understand. Excuse me. And it's like one day, even now, one day pistol braces are legal. Next minute you hear somebody saying pistol braces are, the ATF still. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
just do go through the bullshit, get declared a short barreled rifle, and once you have one lower, I mean, you can have as many upper receivers, at least as far as ARs go.
That's what I love about ARs. You can have a really nice lower with a nice trigger and throw anything on it.
Yeah. So, and like I said, I already have that kitty cat, which is a 7-inch DPMS. So I'll just have it turned into declared a short barreled rifle, and I already got my lower. Yeah. And, so yeah, that's pretty much the what's been going on with me. So, and I see you've been playing with your stars, and
Oh my gosh, yeah. What the heck? I thought we were getting one more to find one and pick the one in worse condition and do stuff to it. And now we have 3. But it's fun. My son loves those, so what the heck? I like them too.
they look interesting, but my big thing is I want to try to have both the Model 57 and the have a Model 29 put away before the end of the year, plus do the silencers. So, well, guns and water, you're right about that, but yeah, I'm so used to being tracked everywhere I go because log books and stuff, and it's not like the old days where you can make a week disappear. I was never there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he means by that. Like the government can track you because you got a can or an SBR. They're the ones that leave you alone because you went through all the paperwork and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're the last guy they're going to bother because you're doing it legal.
Right. So
they don't really care. I have an SBR that I had to scroll my trust on the side. You have to do all that and state and all that. And I was like, what a pain in the. And then you can just get a pistol brace and do the same thing now. So
the what they might start doing, and they're looking to get into get like I said, they're starting to produce their own silencers and stuff. I mean, they have their own what is the SOT license and all that. So, and like I said, they're already doing a little bit, and they're starting to do short. They have a nice short barrel shotgun in there. It's an 870 that they did all that. And if you just buy, from what I understand, if you buy a short barreled firearm from a dealer as a short barreled rifle or shotgun, you don't have to put anything on it because it already has their information on there because they're the manufacturer. So all you have to do is just put it on your trust, and just do the normal paperwork. So and they have a half a dozen short-barreled rifles and shotguns on the wall now that they're which they manufacture themselves. So
William has a tough question. It depends on what you shoot the most. I use my 30 cal for 223 and 30 cal 300 blackout, all that. However, my pistol cans can work on 300 blackout subsonic. And I try and tell everyone this. Everyone should have at least one 22 can because they're the most quiet, the most fun, the lightest, smallest. And if you like 22 pistol and rifle, you got to have one of those. And then it comes down to what you're going to shoot. There's a lot of hybrids now that fit shoot any caliber type deal. You can change the front cap for different diameters, but remember to take it off when you go bigger.
Yeah, I've seen those videos. Here's what I'm going to do, William, because I'm basically I have a 22 for 22 long rifle put away. My next one's going to be, the plan is to get the Lyman 30 cal. It's rated up to at least 300 Winchester Magnum, so I should be able to run it on my 300 rum because it's long barreled. It's longer barreled, and it should 300 rum's not that much more powerful, and you can use it on 223s. You just have to. You're going to have more noise compared to a 223 can, and then and these Lyman cans are like I've seen them on sale for $250. Right now they're on Gunbroker or guns.com. They're like $350. Well, hell, for the price of some of these other cans that people have bought over the years, you can buy three of these Lymans for the stuff that friggin' PSA selling now.
I haven't looked at them. I'm gonna have to look and see how they're designed. I haven't looked into them. I've been away from cans since they dropped the trust thing for the family. So,
well, since I've been paying attention to this for the last few years. Apparently, this is a common design that they're using. It's a baffle, just a standard baffle. They're all it's multi-sectional baffles. So you can change the length of it if you want to. It's a European design that they've been using for 75 years, whatever. It's it's nothing.
So it's modular.
Okay. It's modular and it's a proven design, and it's being made by Lyman, and and it's made up in Connecticut, so it's American made. And they're going to buy the volume. They're going to make their money off it by selling by volume. Because, like I said, you can buy, all four of the cans they have out right now, which is a 30, a 22, or a 5.56 can, a 22 can, and the 9mm is not released yet, but it's in the works. You can buy all four of those cans for $1,200. Yeah. Now, is it going to be the most? Is it going to be the mostest, lightest? Most. Probably not. But everybody's bragging on them. That shot. That's all they talked about at SHOT Show. I don't know what else they had for sale. They were demonstrating, but everybody was talking about these Lyman cans. The same thing with High Point. They have a 45 can that it's designed to be modular, to be used 45 and 9. I don't know if they have set up to do rifle, but you can use it on.
Yeah, I saw the guy who makes them for High Point, and it's old design and they're loud. So I wouldn't do the High Point. I was kind of excited, like, oh, it's going to be cheap. But then I saw what it was, and they're loud.
How loud? how loud is it? I mean,
Loud, like not hearing safe loud almost.
okay.
Yeah. And to answer William again, the last can I would buy would be a 223 can because that's all you get. Where nowadays you got modular cans and 30 cal and end caps you can change to make it smaller diameter. And a 223 can, you're just stuck with that, and that's it. You can't even shoot 22 to it through it because you get it all leaded up, you know. So definitely 30 can or a modular can that is multi-caliber with changing end caps. That's what I would go for nowadays. And then you got the free flowing cans that are 3D printed in titanium that has less blowback. They're a little bit louder, but they cause this tornado effect inside the can, and they're less blowback to the shooter. So there's all kinds of good stuff coming out. I just want the law to be changed so we can just buy parts or make our own cans.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they're working on it. They're working on it because now that there's no tax, why are we paying government employees to do background checks?
yeah.
That's a waste of money. And that's a good argument. And that's what, as soon as cans are no paperwork, man, we're all in. We're going to be making them, buying kits, doing everything. You could 3D print 22 cans and chuck them. You know, that's
Mhm.
that's what me and the son are waiting for.
There's a chick on YouTube, and she's developed. Yeah, she's a engineer, or a machine, at least a machinist, and her goal is to make a $200 22 caliber titanium can, and she has it. She just like we were talking about just a little bit ago about the Lyman. She's using an old design. It's for her. It's just developing the infrastructure in her shop to do it.
Oh,
And she's the way she's talking, she already has she has it where she can make a profit at $200. All the distributors are wanting to jack the rates up on her. So her goal of doing a $200 can, which so she's probably gonna have to look at a $300 can, but the way she's talking, it's actually a lot more. They're trying to charge a lot more for it.
So you're trying to say is that she's charging $200 for her can?
Yeah. Yes. She doesn't have much of a can, but she's a little bit flat ass, but that's okay.
Okay.
I actually like girls with a little bit of a narrow ass. So, but she's probably smarter and definitely more mechanically inclined than I am. So I better just sit
I'm
here.
surprised she's. I don't know the cost of material, but titanium's not cheap, and the cutting tools to cut it are not cheap. So
as far as and like I said, I haven't watched every minute of every video she's done. I've only seen a few actually. It looks like they're stamping. It looks like they're just the old traditional baffles stack, and she's stamping them. And then she's finished. She has a machine that a new. It's not a lathe. It's the 5-axis or 3-axis. I don't know how many axes the machine has, but then she has the machine do the finish cuts and cleaning and all that. So, but she's able, apparently she's able to get it down to that, for her for the $200 mark, and that's like the one I just bought. I mean, it's just the old fashioned traditional. It's not a monocore. You take off the end, then you pull out. Well, I guess it is a monocord, and it just has Kaylee's cans. That's it. Thank you, DM. Um,
DM Foss is here. Hey, DM Foss, I was just taking a pay. That's what old men do all the time is pee.
and
Good to see you.
so, but yeah, I mean, the one I bought, you know, it's a little more traditional. It is a monocore, and right now, like I said, it's sitting down the safe at the gun store right now because I just haven't started the trust yet. But yeah, it's old technology. I mean, I've been seeing cans built like this for 20 years now. Yeah, so it
Yeah, just I mean, I've worked in a machine shop, and it's time on machine, right? And if she's stamping out pieces, those are dies, and titanium is tough, so she's gonna have the die replacement's gonna be quite often. Cutting tools, even simple drill bits, cost you use a lot more of it, and if she can do it for that would be good.
Well, if the registration law goes away, it's all going to be eBay, Amazon parts, okay?
mhm.
And there is tech in cans, because the cans I own, they went through a lot of research and R&D just to get quieter, and that's why you'll see little circular cuts on each baffle with a little hole here and there, and it almost a difference. But now they're 3D printing
Right.
titanium cans and all kinds of stuff. Your world is your oyster now. They can do all kinds of stuff in the future.
Yeah. Well, see, we're just where we seem to be at with silencers now is where we were at in, like, might as well say 2010 with ARs. The AR design was pretty much completed in 65. Yeah, somebody can, we can design this safety with a slightly longer, thumb rest or do this, but let's face it, the AR-15, design is a 75-year-old, close to a 75-year-old design. You're just, now it's just that little, the last 1%. Has this, different type of trigger in it that the springs in this trigger, it will last 10, 100,000 million rounds or what again. And this coating will let you get an extra 8,000 rounds down the barrel before, but you can take a quality 1 in 7 twist barrel that was made in the 1960s that's never been used, slap it on a receiver that gets stamped out yesterday, or an upper that gets stamped out yesterday. It's going to work, and it's going to work fine. So
Hey, guys, I'm gonna bail out, guys.
okay,
And I'm tired. So have a good weekend, everyone. Enjoy your week. Be
All right.
safe.
Thanks for coming on, Andy, and I'll see you next week.
Hey, chessboard. So yeah, I mean it's it's going to be basically where we're at now with silencers now is just going to be rearranging the deck. The deck.
The newest thing with cans that I'm jealous of is modular, multi-caliber, more multi-caliber, being able to change your end caps legally, and I think the next thing, other than modular, where you can change your size and everything, is going to be 3D printing the titanium stuff. There's drawbacks to that also. I mean, that's more of a bitch to clean. It's got all kinds of holes and tornado stuff going through it, and now you can soak it in something or whatever. But there has been changes to them.
Hey, Scotsman, and my biggest reason for getting the cans is they're cheap, and you don't have to pay the stamp, or else I wouldn't even be looking at. and there's another reason I'd like to be able to. I try to keep my shooting in the backyard down to a little bit of a minimum. If I have a project I want to do and I want to do it in the backyard, I do it. But it'd be nice to just be able to twist a can on one of my blocks or one of my PSAs and go out there and shoot 200 or 300 rounds if I decide to spend the day doing it. And it'll at least knock the sharpness down. And yeah.
Also, people don't know your location. They hear the echo.
Mm-hmm.
If it's loud, like a 5.56, they hear the echo, but they have no idea where that's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, in the backyard, it's a little dicey where I shoot at now. I got a very narrow corridor, so I just keep it to handguns. I mean, unless I'm like breaking in a barrel where I can just point it straight at the ground and pop a round off or a couple rounds off, straight into the dirt. That's one thing, but I don't shoot anything other than handguns and maybe 22s in the backyard there, because if I get a stray round, if I fuck up and I get a stray round go somewhere, I'm gonna hit somebody's house. There's a good chance I'll hit somebody's house. So I need to keep everything in this nice little corridor I have. Hey, buddy.
And let's
How you doing?
Scotsman is here and Garage Guy is here. Hey, guys. Oh, I think we got a Scotsman too. How's it going, Gunswatter?
Good. Congratulations on getting a new can.
Well, thank you.
Ron?
Well, it's my first one, so it's the can. But I'm hoping by July to have my can collection taken care of. Yeah, I just a 30 caliber, a 9mm, and then if possible, a 5.56, because that's mostly.
How is your approval time?
I don't know. I haven't done the trust yet. We're doing that this coming payday, which is Thursday. We're going to go in there and do everything then. We could have done it today, but we had to get a couple other things taken care of, and we were running out of time for the day. So, but it's all going to be, the girl at the girl who runs the store. She's there. She's been getting approval times in under 5 minutes as far as the trust goes. Now your background check and all that's different. But
last time I did the NFA, it took 9 months.
if going by,
I could have had a baby.
Yeah, well, going by my experience with my average wait time, even on a Saturday afternoon at a gun store where there's a line of people, my average wait time to get an approval for a firearm is usually between 30 seconds to 1 minute. And just simply because I got a very unique name. I have a CDL. I have hazmat, so I'm fingerprinted for the hazmat. I have a TWIC card. I got fingerprints for that. I have fingerprints for my concealed carry. I mean, the fucking government knows last time I took a shit. So whether I like it or not,
I almost always go pending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really? You go pending?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lately,
it
might take 15 minutes.
Yeah, there's somebody with your name that they have to check with you.
I go delayed every time, but that's for good reason.
Really?
I've mentioned this before. You got to understand. So I'm not from here, right? Obviously, I'm an American. I became an American, but I'm not from here. So what you got to understand is every time I go get checked, no matter how much information they have, and they have everything, just like Rawless, they know when I go take a whiz, take a shit, whatever. They know all of that stuff, but I still get delayed.
Okay.
They have to verify that I'm an American.
Both of you guys get a UPIN number, okay?
Ain't gonna help. Ain't gonna make a difference.
A UPIN number should clear.
I don't know. There's a scumbag with my name who's a wife beater.
I know that if you get a
so-
UPIN number, they
So
add-
UPIN
It'd be unique, yeah.
numbers, UPIN numbers help people who typically have been in trouble with the law. That's typically where a UPIN number is going to help. It's not
Or
going to
they
help
get
someone
mixed
like
up.
myself who is basically just waiting on them confirming paperwork. That's not going to help.
Now I know about them, but I never looked into them. How the hell do you get the unique identifier?
So you just go on their website and apply for it. You'll get it pretty quick.
Yeah, you
The
can-
ATF website?
you can-
Yeah, ATF
can-
website. Look up UPIN, and they'll give you a number. I think it's between what 12 and 14 numbers, something like that, Jim. And then every time they call in, you just make sure you put that number down on your form when you fill out your form, and yeah, it should technically help. Is it going to help every single time guaranteed? No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's a potential way to help, but it's not always a guarantee.
You know what's funny? I've had a lot of cops that were delayed. Cops.
He's just being stupid.
They beat their
Well-
wives too.
Well, no. So, the number one I used to get was high up military. And they'd always come in and they'd start bitching, why am I being delayed? Why am I being delayed? Dude, you got security clearance. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? You have security clearance. Of course you're going to get delayed. You're going to sit your ass there. You're going to smile put the smile on your fucking face and wait. There's nothing I can do. It's the fucking government. Guess what? You work for it. You know this. Shut the fuck up, sit there quietly and wait.
I don't get after your first one. I don't get what the background check does.
I had a partner play a joke on me because, like, if you're working in a gun shop, you have your buddy do the background. You don't do your own background check, right? Phone call. And he comes back and he goes, "You were delayed," and he had me going for 5 minutes. I'm like, what? I was pissed. I was ready to rip the walls off. And he was like, "I'm just messing with you."
I was at a gun show one time and the gun show closed. I had to pick the gun up at a FFL 3 days later, waiting on the pending.
Longest time I've ever had to wait was like 2 weeks.
Mm.
And technically, after 5 days, you can pick it up. But I simply waited just because at that time I was still dealing with a lot of paperwork. And so I just waited just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, the one beauty of the UPIN is it goes directly to you. They don't have to sort out other people with your name and everything. Your number is you. So then they can just concentrate on you. And that's the beauty of a UPIN. And I've had cops have to get UPINs,
Right. But again, they can help, but not always.
Most times it will. But I've had cops that someone else has the same name. He was a felon or whatever. And they're like, "What the hell? I'm a cop. I've been, And I said, "Get a UPIN." And boom, they were fine.
Yeah, if you got high security clearance, something like that, UPIN ain't gonna do nothing for you. You're still gonna have to sit there and just wait like everyone else.
That would drive me crazy. I wanted to kill my buddy.
I'm typically
Oh,
for me, I'm usually good to go within about 15 minutes. I mean, it's almost guaranteed every single time, and usually within about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm good to go.
Yeah, when they first started the background checks back in 98, 99, whenever, I think I had to sit and wait a couple hours, a couple times. But then after so many times I've done it, and like I said, it's a unique name. So, and then, hey, hobbies. Now Susan went in and she bought a gun, and she actually got a delay on it. So, which was kind of surprising. But it was the first time she bought her own gun, though, and that was decades ago.
Now, you think the UPenn would do anything in Pennsylvania? We have picks.
It'll still help, but again, you just gotta understand that even if you get one, it's not a guarantee it's gonna help.
Yeah.
I would do it anyway, though. Hobbies is here, our Canadian brother, and Thorsex is here. Okay. It doesn't hurt to get one. Boom.
Yeah, I just never looked into it. I mean, I knew about them. I just never looked into it because you see it on the form.
No,
It-
again, it varies on your situation. If you're dealing with something where someone's got a similar name to you, something like that, yes, it can potentially help. If you're
Same
someone,
name, same name, same area, same age, beats his wife.
yeah, no, so that could definitely help you in that situation.
Yeah,
If you're
'cause
someone who is
it-
high up in the military, someone who has high security clearance, shit like that, you're probably not going to get anywhere with it.
Yeah, it just helps them from sorting out. They can go directly to you and your number and concentrate on that instead of, oh, shoot, there's a bunch of people with the same name. So it does help. I would get one. It's nothing. It costs nothing.
Yeah, maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah,
Give it a
don't-
try.
I do want to get a couple more cans, but I figured when they put it to 0, there was going to be a big slug of people putting applications in.
Yeah, it'll only take you like 5-10 minutes and you'll have one. It doesn't take long.
Okay, William has another question. I've gone back to direct thread. It's nice when you got a rifle and you don't want something to come loose on you. But then you got to buy all the attachments for each upper, and it's a pain. So now I take my, attachments that are on my 308 can, and I leave one loose and just put it on different guns. So it's like direct threading. I'll tighten the flashlight or whatever, but it gets expensive. It depends on how many guns you have. If you only have a few guns, fine. It's much, it's going to be there solid and it's not going to come loose. But yeah, so there's that.
William?
Chessboard's out there. Chessboard says, he thinks if you have prior security clearance, it helps. It doesn't really help, honestly. Security clearance, especially depending on how high up that security clearance is, it's going to hurt you more than help you. It really does. When it comes to background checks like that, it'll hurt you more than help you.
They are screwed up. They could streamline
Any
it.
insight onto why it hurts you?
Well, they just gotta look. They gotta look into why you have that, so it takes longer.
The,
Because if you got a security clearance, you think that you'd be a pretty stand-up guy.
Well, again, they're looking into why you have that, who you are, and just make sure everything's good to go. That's all it is. It's nothing against you. They're just making sure you are who you say you are, and that your security clearance is what it's supposed to be, and all the rest of it. That's it. I've had really high up people get pissed at me because they were being delayed and sat there for 2-3 hours waiting for confirmation to get their gun. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do, dude. This is government. You know this. You work for the fucking government. Like, sit down, shut up, and just wait.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I don't see.
it's like the cops have done background checks on. They've all been cleared. They're a cop. They still got delayed.
I can't see blaming the FFL for a background check taking a while.
No, but people do, man. They're there in front of you, so that's what they do. They blame the person in front of them.
Hey, Tread, what's up? Tread is here.
I've literally had it. I forget what position the guy was. He was really high up in the military. He was there with his wife, And his wife, after an hour, just stopped, looked at him, and said, "Sit down, shut the fuck up. I'm done. The guy's trying his best, and you're not helping. Sit down, shut up. I'm done."
We got a big Cabela's in Hamburg, and they would screw around with your approval just so you would shop and buy more shit.
Well, they probably weren't screwing around with it. I guarantee it was probably just them waiting to make sure what was going on. Because, again, as an FFL, you're not in control of it. You're sitting there waiting for them to give you the approval.
Yeah, but they're in control of when they actually submit it.
Well, they're in control when they submit it, but they should submit it right then and there. If they're not doing that as you're standing there, then that's kind of fucked up. But
Well, nobody gets out of there under 2 hours.
As a side note, where that all that new construction, the new ramps and all that, I wasn't on the construction job, but we were delivering materials to the construction job for the concrete. For
Yeah,
the water.
78.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
okay, so you know the area. But that's been a shit mess for so many years.
Oh, before they did that, before they did all the work they've been at for the last year or two, or even longer, I used to go from Columbus, Ohio to either Newark or up to JFK. Yeah, sometimes 3-4 times a week. So I'm real familiar with 78. Just yeah, but yeah, no, just as a side note there. So I've sat there and looked at the Cabela's and like, it's just far enough away not to walk.
Yeah, they've been working on that forever. And the bridges look like shit. The old bridges, crumbling concrete. Oh God.
Yeah. I remember going up there and literally having mirrors fall off the side of the truck. The roads were so tore up. So,
Yeah, we're not too good at fixing potholes.
no one is. So, most of y'all know I'm in Ohio. Ohio has some of the worst fucking potholes. And it's insane, dude. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. There'll be construction here, construction there. They're saying they're going to work on this. They're saying they're going to work on that. I saw a thing on the news a couple weeks ago saying, they're getting ready to start working on doing all the major potholes around the area. And if you see one, notify us, do this, do that, and we'll get out there and we'll fix it. Bullshit. We've been notifying you for the last 10 fucking years.
You familiar with Maumee, Ohio? Scotsman, you familiar with Maumee, Ohio?
No, I know the name. I've never been there.
it's in Toledo, right?
It's all the way to west side of the state, I think it is. I stayed at motels in there twice doing trips, and the one thing was they had the best Chi-Chi's restaurant way towards the end. They were still doing shit right. And the other one was I went into the McDonald's for breakfast, and it was open. Everybody was there, standing behind the counter. You walk in, there's a bunch of people waiting, and they're standing like statues, not saying a word until the clock ticks down and it's time to take your order. They were acting like they weren't even alive. They was just standing there like statues. Oddest thing I ever seen.
Yeah, no, I've heard of the place, but I've never been there.
Okay, Foss had an issue. Multiple guns. You try and spread them out, but it sounds like you just got screwed in the system somewhere. Usually, you do your 2, come back and buy another 2 or whatever. When you do the multiple gun form, that's a pain in the ass. I always hated that. It's like, dude, just wait and come back and get the rest, But yeah, I don't know. It probably got screwed up between the police department or whatever. Because I know Washington, they check the local, the PD.
My
The police
yeah,
have their own
Scotsman
form.
Mummy is is right there in just the Toledo area. It's kind of a suburb. 75 is not too far from there. Matter of fact, I have a customer there, so I thought that would be the same place. But yeah, I had a gun. My old gun dealer. You know, there was a couple times I wanted to buy a couple guns. He's why are you making this difficult for us? Just come back tomorrow.
Yes,
And,
yes.
Yeah,
Because we
you're
have
not going
to
to get this one.
we have to fill out a multiple gun form, and that's to red flag you, like, oh, he's buying and selling them to some gangbangers. You know, that's what they're thinking.
Right.
And it's
Maybe that's why I get the pending, because I've done so many of them multiples.
That's a flag. It is a flag because they're thinking, is this guy just buying them, selling them to someone else? You know, yeah.
Well, they ain't going to show up at any crime scene because they're all here.
We're in America. It shouldn't be. You should be able to buy 20 at one time, which you could.
What we should be able to do and what we are able to do are two different things.
The
We're working
government
on
is all, if anyone's used a government website, they're all screwed up anyway. There's way too much paperwork. They should streamline everything, but they're not logical. They'll never be logical.
Yeah.
I think where Foss got screwed up is in Washington. You got to send a copy to the police, and they somehow, I'm assuming pistols, and they somehow screwed up his 5 days or whatever. I don't know.
But even if you buy a gun and like 3 days later you buy another gun, they still got to fill out that multiple.
Multiple.
It's depending on the state, because there are states that require no matter what it is. But generally, it's only handguns. If you buy more than one handgun within 5 days, then they have to fill out the multiple form.
Right.
And that puts the flag. You know.
Why they look at handguns more than they look at just guns in general?
Well,
who knows? That's just how they play the game, because it's their game. We're in it, and we got to deal with it.
Well, don't forget, 68, they were trying to ban handguns.
Well, not only 68, but 36 when the original NFA came around anyways. So, and that's how silencers, for some reason, they also wanted to get rid of silencers. And that basically was a bargaining chip. They let silencers go onto the NFA and they left handguns alone. Yeah. So at least that's the way I've always heard the story.
Yeah, it's government, man.
The best way to do it is if you're looking to buy more than one, just take your time. Don't go out there and try to buy them all at the same time.
Well, you can buy two. You know, you can 2 and 2 and 2. You know, what is a couple days? You know, it depends on the state, but.
Well, listen, what happens when you order a gun on the internet? It comes into the shop, you walk into the shop, and they got 2 Colt single action armies. You know, sometimes you got to buy 3 at once. So you just can't walk away.
Well, you can buy them. You just have to, come back and do the paperwork each day. Which, now I had 3 come in from PSA, and apparently in the state of Florida, you can do up to 3. And it doesn't, I mean, you have to do your background check and you have to fill out all the proper paperwork. But
okay, Tango, I was wondering what the hell you talked about when you said cow. All right, Tango's here. Tin Man is here. Speaking of T's. Hey, Tin Man. Yeah.
Growing up, everybody would always say, oh, in New York City, on every street corner, there's somebody selling machine guns out of the trunks of their cars. So first time I go to New York City, I'm looking for all these cars on every corner selling machine guns. It's like, well, one damn to be found.
Tread, the answer to your question is you buy a can that has different adapters you can put on it. Most of them are pretty much inner diameter of the can is standard. My 9 and 45 can I can switch out, whatever. So yeah, there's lots of, and I love the company we use. What's their name? For different flash hider adapters that you don't even have to thread to the barrel. It threads to the inside of the can and it stays put. What the hell is that company? We use them. We got them everywhere. Anyway. So it uses the inside of the thread of the can. You take the back part off, and they don't come loose, and that's why I like direct thread. At JMac brakes. Oh my gosh, they're so awesome. And you can get different brakes or whatever, but they'll thread to the inside of your can, not on the barrel. JMac is awesome. Yes, just Jeff. Thank you. I went brain dead for a minute. We have tons of JMac. I love them, and I couldn't even think of them. I got to give them love. That is one company I really like.
Fred, now what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to do direct thread, and because I'm going to use them on bolt guns mostly. Just when I actually do use them, it's going to be on bolt guns. So I just want to direct thread them, and it depends on how, if there's any point of. I know there's going to be point of impact shift, but it depends on how much the accuracy is affected. Because the two guns I'll most likely use it mostly on will be a Howa with a pencil barrel and 308, and a Howa with a pencil barrel and 223. So having that silencer out there bouncing around on the front, that's going to be the biggest thing. But I want to eliminate as many variables as possible. So I'd go with direct thread. So that's me.
Especially on using the JMacs. I don't know what Tread is getting at with the adapters, okay? So when you buy a can, you'll have an adapter for fixed barrels. Then you'll have a piston or a Nielsen device for a shock absorber on tilting barrels. But most of your cans nowadays, you can do anything you want with it. What I'm saying is don't go out and buy a bunch of freaking flash hiders only for that can, because the more guns you buy, the more times you got to spend $80 on that damn thing. So, yeah.
Jim, does the Nielsen screw onto the barrel, or is it free floating in there with the spring?
It screws on. It's got a spring in it. I can go grab you one right now if you want to see it. I'll grab it.
I've seen them. I just wasn't sure how it worked.
I'm 5 seconds away. I'll show you.
Yeah, please, because the Lyman has that adapter built right in. So if I'm reading everything correctly, chessboard. Sad thing is that $100. That caddy wasn't probably even worth $100. Even if it was brand new, because it was
not affiliated, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's a GM product. It's not worth $100. Oh, we got a fight. While we have a moment, newest knife.
Let's see. This is a Nielsen device. I call them a piston. Okay, that's a Nielsen device. Mm-hmm. All this comes apart. And I'm going to get my hands really dirty. So this is your end cap for your barrel.
Turn the background off.
This is your shock absorber spring. Now you can also use this as a fixed for a fixed barrel, and you can get a sleeve or make a sleeve so it doesn't use the spring for shock absorbing, and just put that on your barrel. That's a cheap way to do it. So you don't have to just use a thread-on adapter. And
So
then,
does the can slide forward on the Nielsen device or
Yeah.
stay there as the barrel comes back?
yeah. So, and then this has an O-ring in it, and it goes back and forth. Okay. And the reason is, for malfunctions on your gun. So if your gun has a Browning tilting barrel, whenever you rack it, it tilts. Like a Beretta is straight. However, the guide rod can get in the way of the Beretta. That's another story. So when your barrel is tilting, it can cause malfunctions without that little shock absorber effect when you're shooting it. Okay. Now I got to wash my freaking hands. This thing is. Jeez.
Yeah, chessboard. I know, but still, that $100 was still worth more than that Cadillac. So, and the sad thing is, in '86, you could have probably got a grandfathered / what is it when the government or the Pope gives you says it's okay that you did something as long as you fess up to it. Grace, or not a grace period, but what the hell was it?
The
Dispensation?
You talking
Yeah,
about?
but
Dispensation?
the government has a different name for it. They did it.
You talking about a pardon?
Well, no, not a pardon either, but and because I guess in '68, after that gun control, they said anybody who was illegally in possession of machine guns, register them and you won't be charged. Just get them on the registry. We're not going to ask any questions. And apparently, it was I want to say Anheuser amnesty.
Yeah, no, that would be grandfather. Your grandfather.
Well, no, this was an amnesty. Well, I guess you can look at it as a grandfathering also, but yeah, the government said once that gun control bill came into, they said there'll be an amnesty. You just register your gun. We're not going to ask you where you got it or anything. You just register it. You'll get your stamp. No questions asked. And now I don't know if they did that in '86 also, but there was at least one machine gun amnesty since '36. So
Okay, Texas 6-year Texan is here.
see
And
anything interesting?
I want to see more on your 2 new revolvers there, buddy. Anyway, good to see you. Texas 6-shooter Texan, whichever comes up. Right now, he's 6-shooter Texan, but he's Texas 6 on YouTube. I don't know. YouTube.
And also Rumble, gentlemen, Rumble.
Rumble, I think I don't go to Rumble much just because of the lagging. I know I'm bad. I think his name's slightly different there. Texas 6 something. I don't know.
I know I get notifications, and I don't actually pay as much attention to his shows as I should be. I got a couple videos I've put up. I had 2 channels. I dumped one of them, and I'm rebuilding the other one I had. And but yeah, my last couple videos I haven't put up on YouTube. I'm just eventually they'll make it there, but after they fucking nailed me for nothing, but fuck them. They're the secondary one now. I mean, I still watch YouTube, obviously, and there's a lot of shows on YouTube that aren't on Rumble yet. But okay, for MP or MB pinging, yo Jim, is it pink? I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Well, I know Scotsman wants to get into cowboy shooting, and Penny's got a new rifle. It should be real slick, and her times are going to increase. And then he had a couple revolvers. So they have some new toys. Let's see, threaded can. Okay, Tread, you're going to have, it depends on your muzzle device. If you're going from 5.56 to, actually, you were talking about 45-70 and everything else. So it depends on what can you're getting for the options. They're pretty good about options now. Yo, Jim, is it pink? What is pink? 4MB, what is that? PNG.
It's a troll. I got rid of him. Fuck him.
Oh, okay.
How do you know he's a troll?
Look at his picture. Come on, dude.
He might just be a comedian.
You gotta give a guy a chance.
Oh, come on.
Well, he's got a lollipop. Okay, he's got the lollipop.
Troll.
That's a little sus, the lollipop. But you got to give a guy a chance.
I did just eat dinner. Now I'm craving just something sweet.
Oh, he's quick on the trigger.
I have a question for you, Jim. The other day you were doing I forget what the video was about, but I noticed you had a piece of, I think it's 52-100 steel. It was a cylinder of a bar stock, and it had 52-100 written on it, which is if I'm remembering the
that plug that was by the buffer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How good is that? Because there are some knife stills, and there's a couple knives I'm looking at that's made out of that same kind of steel. I mean, is it a good steel, or do you know? Have you used it, or has the boy used it yet?
I have to ask that's my son's wheelhouse. I'll have to ask him, but he's got that there for a reason. So,
yeah. Well, he's doing knives now, right?
Yeah, he's tired of doing knives, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what happened with Bark River. I mean, if you guys are even familiar with Bark River, but a little bit of a scandal going with those boys.
What's that? Why is that? He might know who he is. I'll have to, bug the son, get back to you on that. Yeah. Circle around and come back. Like the last press secretary. We'll circle around and come back to you.
Well, but it's been about a month now, 6 weeks. But apparently the guy who owned Bark River Knives is always like, America, America. We buy American steel. It's made by American. None of this Chinese, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, typical salesman. But he started owing everybody big money. So they started buying Chinese blanks and then using those and passing them off as American made, like the CVM 5729 super powder. Yeah.
Chinese steel, you never know what's in it. Yeah. Will it hold it?
If you get good steel, I have some Chinese knife like this one. I've had this one for a whole 12 hours.
Okay.
But I mean,
it's still standing though.
Yeah, I mean, like Civivi, they make good knives. Kaiser makes good knives. Now, and they're Chinese.
If they're contracted properly, like good red dots are, like Holosun, then you're okay, as long as they know what's in there. I got to answer Tango here. Yes, I've seen the anti-drone rounds. I've seen those videos. Interesting. Never tried one, but interesting. Okay.
Be fun to play with.
Yeah.
And But yeah, anyways, but Bark River, and this isn't the first time he's gone broke because of not paying bills. If you're familiar with the knife company called Blackjack Knives, especially from the 90s, I have two of them. Basically, the same thing happened. And then a few weeks ago, it finally came to light that he is selling, just Chinese steel as high grade, the Carpenter's powdered steel.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of waiting for the market to crash on them and maybe swoop in and get 2 or 3 models that I'm interested in.
That plug you were talking about, my son bought a bunch of steel from a neighbor. It's all U.S. and that's why he got it. So
Yeah.
he obviously knows it's good, whatever it is. I'm not a metallurgist or whatever they call them, metallurgy.
Right. Believe me, I'm not either. But
he is. He's totally up on that stuff. So there's a reason it's on that bench. So it must be good.
Good deal. Good deal. But then yeah, I have way too much of the I want in my. I want one of these night guards in 44 special. And of course, I want the 386 or the 6. Well, it's a 386, which is a 686 derivative. Of course, I want all the mountain guns, especially the 686.
And you're getting a 57. So
yeah,
cool.
the 57. It just I've been thinking about 2 things in the last few weeks. That's sex and model 57s. Yeah, it just and usually with me it's 3 or 4 things.
Well, always something, man. Always something. I got another 44, but Jimmy ain't gonna like it.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to not like it. Come on.
What is it? Please tell me.
I got one of the last Marlins with the JM stamp the last year they made it, unfired, in the box, stainless.
Good deal.
And why wouldn't I like that? I have one of the later JMs also.
Well, because you're just a picky son of a bitch. That's all.
No, you bum rap me. You bum rap me. I love Smith & Wessons. They're my favorite. They're the sexy. Yeah. So.
They are one of these sexiest revolvers out there. I don't care who you are. They're one of these sexiest freaking revolvers.
What's that?
Smith & Wesson, man.
Oh yeah. The end. Well, yeah. It's
old school blue metal and wood. That's where it's at.
This is probably going to be a couple years down the road. The only non-Smith & Wesson revolver I want right now, there's a couple of Tauruses, but it's like they're mid-frame and 41 mag with the. But anyway, that's is the Colt Anaconda in 45 Colt with the 4-inch barrel. I don't want the 6 or the 8. I mean, if they fall into my lap, I'm not going to refuse them, but I specifically want the 4-inch Anaconda, and other than that, I just want every fucking Smith & Wesson I see. Hillary hole, no Hillary hole, I don't care.
I'm glad they're getting rid of the locks on the Smiths. It's about time.
They are getting rid of them.
Yeah,
how long it's going to take? How long it's actually going to take for that to show up in production? Who knows? But they are getting rid of them.
Yeah. Well, the mountain guns and the night guard guns, they're all no internal locks at all. So that's already in the system. And here's the thing. Just because collectors are the way the collectors are, in 20 or 30 years, those, if you have one with an internal lock in it, which is in good shape, all of a sudden that's going to become, Yeah, that's just like those Mac 90s that had the thumb hole stalks and the muzzle.
They're bad mouth of Mac 90.
Yeah, now they're worth as much. Yeah, in original factory condition, like in the box, the way it came. Those things are now worth 5 times more than what they cost, back in the 90s.
It's crazy price. Yeah. My last one was super cheap, unfired, in the box, all the mags, everything. Stick shooter Texan, he was talking about, I think Penny's going to be faster for cowboy shooting. They like the top poopers, and that action, they can chick a lot faster than the Marlin. That's why for cowboy action, that's why everyone uses what he got her. And I think her times are going to go down once you slick that up. So, yeah.
She's gotten a lot better. I don't know if y'all watch or not, but if you pay attention, she's gotten a lot better.
She's gotten a lot faster, both with revolvers and
she's come a long way with both. Yeah, I mean the lever action especially. She's come a real long way with the lever action.
Yeah,
and you all know Marlins are real picky when it comes to feeding. So I was never knocking her for how long it took her to shoot with the Marlin, because Marlins are a pain in the ass, man. They can be real picky when it comes to feeding. So, don't knock someone when you're watching them on a video going, they're supposed to be fast. Well, yeah, they're supposed to be, but shooting the Marlin doesn't always go that way.
Well, it's all in the lifter on those, and there's things you can do to them, but what they're using for cowboy action, you're quicker when you're racking and using the finger while you're racking it, and you can actually cowboy some lever actions and ruin. Let me see if I can show you a picture. It's probably on my phone. You can actually ruin the part because you're stressing it out. It wasn't designed. Let me see if I can find a picture. I fixed mine from cowboying it. It's on my phone. Damn it. Anyway. It's where the snail cam hits it and puts a gash in it. And that's from cowboying it. I probably couldn't show you with this screen. I don't want an update. Come on. They have a picture and a whole video on how we modified it. And then we adjusted it to feed certain ammo. It's more tailored for 38s now. Let's see if I can find that picture. It won't show up anyway. Pictures, gosh darn it, library. There's too much crap on the phone. All right. How do I get, okay. Anyway, that's the deal with that. So, let's go way up here. I'll find it somewhere. Actually, it's a picture, not a video. Cancel. Get out of here. Anyway, you got a sharp snail cam that hits on when you're. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. I wonder if this will show up. If I can get it just right, let me enlarge. This is what happens when you cowboy. Okay, where's my phone? Where is it? You're getting closer. Here's your dollar, the guy with the fishing pole. Oh, see, okay.
that background screwing with it.
Can you see the gash in the middle of that? No. You can't. You can't see the gash. Anyway, it doesn't look anything like what I just showed. Anyway, that can be fixed, and then it all comes down to the height when you're carrying up to what rounds you want to shoot, whether they're short or long. You can change that, and that's what I did to my stainless 357, and that thing is slick as snot, but it's got hardened steel on that spot now. Yeah, short stroke. Yeah. Sometimes Penny will short stroke it, or your loads are a little long or something. I've seen that where you got to re-rack it a hair. Yeah, but you're doing cowboy action shooting. Everything's fast, and it's going to happen. But anyway, good stuff. I think Penny's going to get really fast. She's already gotten faster. So at first she's like really careful and, taking her time, like setting up and everything. But now she's a lot faster. So it's good to see the evolution. What do you call it?
Progression.
Evolvation.
The progression.
Let's see. Her 1873 needs a short stroke kit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have no idea what the workings of an 1873 are. Yeah.
It basically cuts the racket in half.
Yeah.
It is what he's talking about. It basically cuts that time in half.
Yeah. Well, that's how they can, because your finger's there the whole time. Unlike the rifleman who used a screw on his, Winchester, he had a screw in that gun where every time he closed it, it went off. You guys know that, right?
Yep.
And you can buy kits. You can put one on any one of your levers. You can 3D print one, so you don't have to even. All you got to do is rack it. Yeah, maybe we'll 3D print one and do a video.
They make kits for the 1873 Winchester. They make kits for Marlin.
Yeah.
The problem with the Marlin is Marlin's always had issues. Always.
Not always.
No, they've always had an issue, and it's a known issue. And they're still a fantastic gun. Don't get me wrong. I love Marlins, man. I got plenty of them. I love them. They're great guns, but they do have issues.
I do like the side eject, and my 357 is super slick. That's the one we fixed the gash on because they changed the lifter, which was actually better than the old ones. And that thing is slicker. I shoot nothing but flat wad cutters in them, and I never get a jam or a gag or a hiccup. They're just like foof foof. But the lever is huge on it, and it slows you way down. That's another thing. The huge levers are just for TV. John Wayne crap. Huge levers just slow you down.
Give you more room to bust your knuckles, too.
But I do like the side eject so it didn't fall on your head, the brass and shit,
It doesn't matter what side or top eject, whatever it is. I've always gotten smacked in the fucking face. Always.
Well, aren't you left-handed?
I'm right-handed. I ain't lefty.
Okay. All right.
I ain't fucking lefty. I'm right.
All right. Well, how do you get smacked in the face with a Marlin?
Dude, I've had so many different fucking rounds smack me in the face. Just I don't know.
Texas is wear a hat. Yeah, a brass catcher. I'm gonna do a Mexican hat that curls up with the Rossi, and they'll just fly in the hat, and then I just shake them into the bucket.
Sex, I'm working on trying to find a place around here to remold one of the hats I have from Mr. Holster. It needs remolded, and I'm trying to find somewhere, and I can't find anywhere around me.
Yeah, and you get the cowboy hat that's curled up in the front, so the brass just pours right in the bucket.
So I have the one that I wear on videos in the house, but I'm not wearing that out shooting with it because that's a really nice one. I don't
Yeah,
want
you
to
do
get
have
I don't want to get that messed up or anything like that. I have another one, and don't get me wrong, they're all nice hats. But I have another one that I would like to wear out because it actually fits me a lot better, but it needs to be shaped. So I'm trying to find somewhere around me that shapes it because I cannot find any.
Yeah, my black hat is a little too small, and I have to steam it and stretch it over something so it'll fit. But it was thrift store like $2, and I bet the guy paid $100 for that hat.
Yeah, so I have the stretcher, and the stretcher worked to get the one hat that I wear in the house to fit better. But one of the other hats that I got from Mr. Holster fits perfectly as far as actually sitting right on my head. It fits perfectly. But it needs to be reshaped because it's just one side's got a huge curve to it, the other side's flat. So it needs to be completely reworked.
Yeah, see this one is way too tight on me, and then my son's hat is too big, so it falls down. So I'm in between.
Yeah.
Tuco.
I think this is a size 7.5. Seven.
Yeah, I got a big old head, so I had to
Just
stretch him
lost
pretty
the rope.
good. I had to stretch him pretty good, but
yeah, you got to squeeze her down to Chinatown.
I've got minus the two on the wall. I think I have 5 others that I got from Mr. Holster.
Nice hat, Jim.
I know. I'm trying to figure out who made it. Alacran D. It's written in Mexican. Anyway, $2 at a thrift store. What are you going to do? I'll stretch the sucker and make it work. Leather lining, everything. It's got a nice liner in it. It's a nice hat. Whoever bought this paid a few bucks. Anyway, we have a store. We got a store in the next town over that has all kinds of cowboy hats. And I've been meaning to get a proper one for the sun, so it's a light color. Yeah, either something breathable. Yeah. But the good thing about being at the store is you can try them all on and look in the mirror and everything versus buying one sight unseen online,
No, and you definitely want to do that. Years and years and years ago, when I bought my first hat, I was lucky. I was in the store and I was looking around, and I couldn't find anything. And one of the sales clerks came over and just happened to be this hat on the bottom row in the box, and opened the box up. I put it on, and it was a little tight, but it still fit. And he's like, "Well, let's go shape it, and we'll see if we can get it to look good for you. This, that, the other." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So he goes and shapes it, all that jazz. Comes back and tells me the price of it. I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah, I'll buy it." And I buy it, and I walk outside, and I get in my truck, and I start the truck up. And I get about a mile or two down the road, and I look over at the box, and I'm like, "That doesn't match the hat." I got a high dollar hat for about half of what it should have been.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bank error in your favor.
Yeah, the store I'm talking about, that's where all the cowboys go, the ranchers. And then we have boot makers here and cowboy hat makers and saddle makers. So a friend of my wife's is a saddle maker. He makes the most awesome saddles, super expensive, all hand done. And then there's a boot maker right in our town, does the most awesome boots, but you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay for those boots, but they're beautiful. And then that hat place, they have so many cowboy hats. I can't imagine buying one online because you have to put them on. You know,
No,
you got-
you have to. I've tried buying hats before, in the past. You know, online, like when I first got here and shit, and that never worked out. That one hat, like I said, that was back when I lived in Missouri, and there was lots of places up that way you could go buy hats and stuff, and that worked out way better. You have to be in a store. You have to be. You know, I got a big head just in general, and you have to be able to actually put it on, make sure it fits, and have them adjust it and all the rest of it, because it's just going to be, you're not going to be happy either way unless you get it fitted. It has to be fitted.
yeah.
You know where that Stetson originated? Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yep. Stetson hat in Philadelphia.
There's
That's
cowboys,
crazy.
cowboys in Philadelphia. What are you talking about? That's the East Coast.
Yep, that's where they originated, the Stetson hat. Stetson factory in Philadelphia.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. All the hats I have are Stetsons. That's crazy.
Man, I thought you had to go halfway to the west of the United States for that stuff.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it? But you know, everything was made to go out west.
Yeah, and all the beaver went to the East Coast for beaver hats. You know.
I got my
that one hat that I bought in Missouri. That was an 8X beaver.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, and I can't remember the price I paid for it, but it was a stupid low amount. And that's why I was kind of like, it doesn't make sense. And then as I was going up the road, I stopped and I look over at the box and like, it doesn't match the box.
Yeah, I got to find a good hat for out in the sun, and I might as well be a cowboy because everyone else around here has cowboy gigs on. So, you know, they dress with certain jeans, certain shirts, certain belt buckle, and to fit in, I might as well. When I was in Idaho, I could
Jim, you're never gonna fit in.
Ah,
Let's be real here, man. Let's be real. You will wear whatever the hell you're gonna wear, and you'll fit in whatever you fit in. That's just who you are. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to mask it. You are who you are. That's like me, dude. I wear a cowboy hat and a kilt. Deal with it. You don't like it? Shove it up your ass. I don't care.
Well, you think about it, though, you know, it was just the Scots, and the Irish and the English and all that, taking a look from the, you know, who were working the ranches and stuff, taking a look from the Mexicans.
Well,
Yeah,
it makes sense because Scottish people were cowboys. It makes sense. They were cowboys over there fighting the English and everything. And whoever the Germans tried to attack them, everyone tried to attack them. Vikings, everyone, and they took them all on. So yes, Scotsmen are cowboys.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the original, you know, Anglo cowboys were the Scots, Irish, English, you know, just migrating west, you know, doing that cowboy thing, and yeah, they saw the hat Mexicans were wearing. They said, "Yeah, I like that."
I have no problem with the cowboy hat and a kilt combo. I have no problem with that. It might be a little bit tough on the brush when you're on a horse with that sticky brush.
Yeah, those sticky things.
You don't have chaps.
nice.
You know,
What knife is that, Rollis?
This is one of those blackjacks I was telling you about. This is from the Effingham store from back in the 90s.
I
I
love
bought
this.
this.
Yeah.
I bought this the first time I went deer hunting, and I actually cleaned my first and only deer with this one.
I love the shape of that. Everything about it. Yeah. That's
And
nice.
then and this is a direct clone copy of the Randall number 1. They call it the 1-7. Blackjack does, and they still, well, they don't make anything now. They closed their store about 4 weeks ago, but they still make the blackjacks, and you can find these even on Amazon for like sub 300. If you look hard enough, you can even find them sub two, right in the $200 range.
That's a good looking design also.
Yeah, well, it's a knockoff of the Randall number 1. So, and it's a clone. Except for instead of it being a $1,000 knife, it's a $300 knife.
Tinfoil and duct tape.
Wow, chessboard. His father wore beaver hats. Interesting.
So no, my point was, Jim, be who you are, man. It doesn't. No one's gonna sit there and fucking. They can criticize all they want, regardless. But
Yeah.
be who you are, dude. You know,
I'm used to being a.
you're a fucking you're a fucking goofball. I'm a goofball. We do goofball shit. Whatever, man. Just do what you do. Be you.
Hey, I'm used to being a square peg. I've always been a square peg in a round hole. So
Yeah, I understand that.
I can take it.
As long as you get the peg in the hole.
Where's Big T when you need him?
Let's see. Hobbies. Let me just give me one moment. Let's see. That's number 5. Okay.
Hobbies here.
Let me,
Yeah, both those knives are nice.
I've seen
design.
this model. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it in there. Hobbies. That's the Amazon link to somebody. They're selling them for sub. Nope, doesn't want to go. Let me try it this way. Okay, that's not going to work.
Well, try it in the chat as a picture.
No, the chat won't let because I'm not a mod. I can't put a link.
I wonder if I can make you a moderator now.
Yeah, make me a mod.
Now that I'm
That way I can take control.
well,
Y'all
now
are screwed now.
I'm the laziest.
do a reply in the side. Now that I'm on Uncle Jim 2 here, which happened recently, maybe I can make you a moderator. Then you can do links.
Let me try.
Before I couldn't do it because I had to come on here as Uncle Jim 3 in the side chat. But now something weird happened, and now I can do it. Hopefully.
Not
I
in
just
the
put it up in the private chat. And then
not in the private
No,
chat, Rollins. In the main
No,
chat.
no. Just do a reply.
Do it in the main chat.
Okay, hang on.
Then I'll click on you and make you a moderator.
Okay. Okay, just type something.
Anything.
Yeah, anything in the main chat.
Okay.
And then Scotsman might have to help me, but I click on the 3 dots and
Yeah, you
There
click
we
on
go.
the 3 dots and hit moderator.
Okay.
okay, let me
And I'll ask you if you want to add as a standard moderator or whatever moderator. Just
Add as moderator. Here we go. All right, now try a link.
Okay, let's see.
Linky poo.
Don't even talk about poo.
There it goes. Okay. Thank you guys.
It's a link. All right.
And,
Yeah, I mean,
What's wrong, Jim? You got a little bit sticking out there. You know.
No, I thought I was passing boulders for a while there, but it's gone. It's fine. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Pass boulders.
What happened to Gunswater? Why did he cut off here?
He just cut out. Oh, run button.
Anyway, fun stuff. I went to bed at like 5 or 6 in the morning, so I'm surprised we're still here.
I went to bed at 3, got up at 7. And I think I fell asleep on the couch for a few minutes watching the videos about the new night guards. I tell my women all the time that they should be happy I'm not a car nut like all my buddies are. We'd have the engines sitting in the living room.
Oh, let's see here.
6-shooter Texan has us all beat.
I was right there with Tex. I've been up and down all day, man.
Yeah, but he's an early riser. I don't even go to sleep sometimes till after that. And I'm afraid to watch my last video. Very afraid. I haven't.
The one you put up, or the one where you're doing when the levee breaks.
Yeah, I'm afraid to watch that. I wanted.
No, you pulled it off.
Did I? Okay, I haven't watched it. I started a new rule. Wait until the next morning before you post that video.
Yeah,
I broke the rule, so I have no idea how stupid and crappy that was.
It's stupid, but it's not crappy. It's fun.
Okay, I got to keep with the rule. Wait the next day before you post it, especially at the end of the video when you get inebriated and you start doing stupid shit.
You do that daily, so I wouldn't even. Is it really any point in waiting?
Yeah, but
I mean, not to be an ass. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
No, you have no idea how bad it could get. You have no idea. Luckily, I didn't.
No, I've heard a lot of stories. I keep the stories to myself.
So far, as far as premiums and whatnot, drivers can demand anything they want. Even the owner operators can demand whatever they want. If the brokers and if the company owners don't want to give it, you're fucked. So I'm hoping that we do see a little, at least some kind of pay raises at my company, because it's been several years. But where I'm at, I'm in a good spot. But some guys, even at my company, are having to struggle a little bit. Things are coming back. Things are picking up. But there's so many just garbage outfits out there. Yeah. Yeah. And these companies don't give a shit. Like all management, they don't give a shit about the drivers. Just get the monkeys to make another delivery. That's all they're concerned about. They'll tell you whatever they think it'll take for you to hold that steering wheel for another day, and that's it.
Yeah, let's keep our freeways safe. You've seen some of those videos. Oof, bad.
Yeah, hobbies. The sheath. Yeah, it's not going to be the Randall sheath. This is what the sheath should look like. It'll just be a basic plain Jane one. Now this sheath is 30 years old.
Hey, it
I
looks
bought this off a
great.
guy about 10 or 12 years ago. And the whole package, the Randall, or not, well, the knockoff. This one here, I got a 94. This is the original sheath. Yeah, I kept the knife and the sheath separated for about at least 20 years. When I put them away, I just stacked them like that, just so any of the chemicals in the leather wouldn't corrode the knife. But now I'll just leave it in there. So, yeah, chessboard.
They look
But
great.
yeah, those Randall sheaths, they're a premium sheath. I mean, they're nice. But these ones are, I mean, they're good, practical. I mean, it's not a high dollar sheath, but they're well made. You know.
It looks great to me. That
Yeah.
matches perfect.
Well, like I said, I don't know how big of I'm not a Randall nut. So, some of those fucking Randall owners, they're worse than fucking Harley owners or in frame owners. Yeah, the sheaths are really nice. The knives are the knives are nice. Yeah. So if you can get one, like I said, Amazon has them. There's an outfit out of Chicago that they have some really good numbers on all their different blackjacks, but you have to dig around looking for it. And it's like Chicago Knife Company, something like that. If you go to We All Juggles Knives and just look up some of his videos, but yeah, like I said, it's just been a big scandal. I mean, every knife guy on YouTube had hours of just videos talking about it.
No, those look nice. I really like that first one you showed. That design. It's like, like a mini buoy. Yeah,
I think it's called a skin. I think they called it the Skinner at the time I bought it.
yeah.
And they still, and these are all under their Blackjack brand, and then their what they call the Bark River knives, which are basically the same construction, just different name and different models. They're nice, as long, and they're just D2. They're just D2 still. I mean, and
No, that's good steel though.
yeah, I mean, and nice thing about it is it holds an edge. It's pretty tough, and I'm able to work. Yeah, with my half-ass sharpening skills, I didn't start learning how to sharpen knives till I was like 54, 55 years old. So, yeah. And I can put a working edge on them and keep them up and running. So I'm happy with just a regular tool still, as long as it's relatively rust resistant and it's not chippy.
I use the jigs for sharpening knives, so it kind of takes the work out of holding the angle.
Yeah, the Blackjacks and the Bark Rivers, they have the
concave
edge, and I use the jigs on them also. But a lot of people say you shouldn't do it that way; you don't get the best. But trying to freehand it on a stone, I can do it, but it looks like this.
You got to be really good freehanding. You got to be really good.
And I just haven't reached that point yet. So these ones I try to, like the Randall, the Randall number one knockoff. I've stropped it, I think, once. Exactly. While Vietnam, I mean, Randall's been being used since the Second World War, but Vietnam's where they really became well known. But, so but yeah, like I said, I like having a nice piece of steel. Whenever I go into Canada, which it's been a while, but you have any knives on you? I'm there. Well, yeah. You got any assault knives? I mean, what the hell's an assault knife? Literally, and he's like, well, like a Rambo knife. Oh no, I don't know.
No. All right. Let's discuss this topic because this is a good one. So going back home a couple years ago, my brother was like, "Hey, obviously, I can't take guns back home, right? Because we're limited to what we can have knife wise, this, that, the other." He's like, "What do you want to have when you get here?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude. The biggest thing you got. I don't give a flying, whatever."
Right.
And so I get there and we're going through, and he walks in the bedroom and he takes out this box full of knives and just tosses them on the bed, and he's like, "Well, one you want?" And I'm like, "That guy right there, that's a knife." and I'm not joking. This sucker is probably about 8 inches long, and I'm like, "Yep, I'll take that fucker right there."
Be like that little 14-year-old girl who had to chase that fucking Muslim down the street who was trying to grab on her younger sister, and she had an axe and a knife. They wanted to prosecute her.
Well, when I said I was going home, everyone was like, "Dude, you're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get arrested." And I'm like, "For what?" And they're like, "Because you're gonna do something stupid, or you're gonna do this, or you're gonna do that." And I'm like, "Dude, look, here's the deal. I'm going home. I'm gonna go home, see my brother, see my nephews, have some fun. And if these fucks want to come after me, let them come after me. I don't care. I'm not going to sit there and be a little pussy about it. I'm going to sit there and, hey, something happens, something happens. It is what it is."
Yeah. And you guys probably heard about this, but I'm going to dredge it back up. Some guy from England came over here. And he went to the friggin' skeet range, and he put a picture of it up on Facebook because he's a resident of England. They were considering him a terrorist because he was holding a gun, even though he was in America at a skeet range.
Yep.
When he got back,
he's facing life in prison.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, he is. He's facing life in prison.
I thought they could have shotguns over there, though.
So we can have guns over there. It's extremely regulated, and more so than here. And it's a very complicated process. I've tried to go over this before in the past, and it's extremely difficult for people to really understand because there's so many different things that can happen and so many different things that come into play. And it's essentially you have to be a member of a club in order to own a firearm, right? So you have to be a member somewhere. That's number one. Number two is you can't take it home with you. It stays at the club. So you don't get to take it home with you. It stays at the club. And that's the typical way of how stuff goes. Unless you are someone who owns a farm and runs that farm and so on and so forth and can prove all that, then you're allowed to have things like shotguns and all of that on the farm. That in itself has a whole bunch of regulations and BS and all the rest of it to go with it too. It's a huge pain in the dick to own guns back home. It's beyond stupid. Like my nephews, I'm really proud of my nephews. One's in the Army. Essentially, what would be here would be the ROTC. Back home, they call it something different. I forget what the hell they call it. But one's basically in the Army, one's in the Navy. So I'm super proud of them for doing that. and they're out there doing that stuff. But it's even with that, restrictions are still super high with them taking any kind of weapon home or anything like that. The restrictions are dumb, beyond fucking dumb.
I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't handle it.
So it was back in, what was it, 92 or 93? I think it was 92 or 93. Was when Dunblane happened. And Dunblane was a school shooting. And basically, overnight, they said, fuck you, we're taking everything. And that was essentially how it happened. And that was back in the early 90s. I think 92, 93, somewhere in there. And they basically said, fuck you, we're taking everything. You're not allowed to own anything without doing this, and this, and this.
Yeah. It boggles my mind.
And it's only gotten worse and worse over the years. So back when I was there, you could still have, XYZ knives and all the rest of it. When I was there, you could still walk down the street with a sword. I used to. And then right around the time I was getting ready to leave is when they changed some of the laws to where you couldn't walk around with a sword anymore. You couldn't do this anymore. You couldn't do that anymore. And they started restricting knives to the point where now I believe it's 1.5 inches.
Oh my gosh.
Like I've tried to tell people, and I've said this to people from the day I got here, and I actually understood why. And let me clarify this. From the day I got here, and I understood why Americans fight so hard for what they have. This is my clarification. I understood this, and I explained to people, look, it doesn't matter what size knife you have. I can have a fucking beer bottle and beat you to fucking death. Why do you care about what size knife I have? Why do you care if I have a gun? Why do you care if I have this? I can literally take a fucking beer bottle and beat you to death with it.
I laughed really hard. I watched a video on the people in the UK. They couldn't defend themselves at night, and they had the removable leg nightstand club. So you just pluck off a leg on the nightstand. I was like, what the hell? Could you have baseball bats in the UK? I guess so. Cricket bat? Anyway, they had the nightstand where you could pluck a leg and defend yourself. And I thought that was...
No, even that stuff's limited. And Hobbies is out there. He's asking about archery gear. Archery gear is super regulated. It's insane. It's super regulated.
Wow.
Hunting is something that is very, very controlled, and a huge pain in the dick. Huge pain in the dick. Again, that's why my brother asked me when I was going home. He's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, dude, I'm not someone that cares, and you know this. I'll take the biggest fucking thing I can take, and I will carry it, and I don't care. Period. And if something happens, something happens. It is what it is. I'm not gonna sit there and cry about it or do this or do that. I'm not. No. You don't have the right to tell me what I can and can't do, period. You don't. You just don't. Same thing here. I say the same thing here. Just like at work. Work tries to tell me I'm not allowed to carry. Work tries to tell me that they define my safety. No, you do not define my safety. No one but me defines my safety, period. Period. You don't get to tell me how my safety is. I define my safety. That's it. No one else does. Me.
5 seconds away. Yes, look at that ship on there. You want to see what that happens to a squirrel? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Freedom, people, freedom.
And the funny part is there's two people that are pretty high up that know that I carry, and then my boss, I'm pretty sure he understands and knows that I carry too, but he says nothing because he knows better.
The biggest reason for a long time I never carried on the truck because I never knew when I was going to get to New York State or even up into Canada.
Yeah.
And that's just a hassle I don't want to deal with. So the last since I got my concealed carry permit now, most of the time all the states I run in are Florida friendly anyways. I mean for a long time, I always carried either big knives or made sure I had one of my wrenches on the side of the truck, and it was just going to be a melee, or use a pipe wrench and just crack ahead. But what you got a pipe wrench on that truck for? Well, I got to get underneath in the wintertime, get underneath the truck and turn the drive shaft to the PTO pump. Make sure it's not froze up, because if you just turn it on there and it's frozen, it'll shatter that shaft. It'll send universal joints. We call it grenading. And so you got to get under there with that big ass pipe wrench, and sometimes you just got to hump on it. So that's why that's sitting right there next to my seat, officer.
And you could have wasp spray on the front seat because you had a wasp problem in your back end there, and you had to spray her down.
Yep. Get this shit.
You do what you got to do. One of the funniest things that cracked me up when I went home, I think I've talked about this before, but I was going through the airport, and at the time I was dealing with a lot of knee problems, and I've had knee issues since I was a young kid, but they were pretty bad. So I was using the cane to offset some of the pressure. And they had to check my cane every time I went through TSA.
Right.
And the lady looks at me, she goes, do you need that to be able to get through here? And I'm like, what the fuck do you think? Why do you think I'm using it to get up here? And you're asking me if I fucking need it? Like, what the fuck?
It's I know.
Well,
and they're just standing there like, well, we can get you one of ours to use in the meantime. I'm like, yeah, that would be fucking helpful.
Well, our canes all have swords in them, so I get it. Ours have swords in them.
No, I get it to a certain degree. It was just the fucking stupidity. Like, do you need that? No, I literally walked up here hobbling with a fucking cane. No, I don't need it. Here, take it, please. Like, come on.
Chessboard, one of the first things I bought when I was finally out on my own after my training, first truck stop I stopped at to get fuel, I went in there and I bought a Hickory tire thumper, and I probably had this many cents because I've set them down or I'll lose them, or I wind up kicking them out of I always keep them on the seat, so all I have to do is open up the door, pick it up. I can walk around and thump my tires with them, and they're usually big enough. They're about half the size of a billy club, I've never had to actually use one, and I hope I never have to. I mean, I like to sit here and tell bullshit stories and what ifs and whatnot, but I don't want to have to deal with any of that. I want to get from point A to point B. At the end of the week, get my money.
Yeah, me
Get
too.
my stuff.
I agree. Find try not to make what's going to happen if you have to go through stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody talks the big game, and even if at the end of the day they do win, it's still going to cost you $50,000 for lawyers and stuff like that. You know, when I went and did my concealed carry permit for down here in Florida, half the people there were talking like, you know, oh well, somebody came up on my porch and tried to steal something. Yeah, and I want to be able to blast them if I need to. You know, all the typical horse shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't give a fuck. You can have that 12-year-old TV that has has lines going through it. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I can buy 10 TVs for the price it will cost to buy that one lawyer. Yeah, even if I'm 100% in the right, and you're still going to get sued by the family. Yeah,
yeah, it's the last
that'll be
thing.
another $50,000 in legal bills.
No, and one of the big things there is be careful what you say, man. You know, Jim's taught people, I've taught people, I've been teaching people for years, and I always try to explain to people, no matter what you do, keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
You know, end of the day, yeah, you're in the right. You know, you defended yourself. You had to take care of something. You defended yourself. Keep your fucking mouth shut, because as soon as they walk on your property, they're asking you questions, and they're asking you questions for a specific reason. They are digging for fucking answers.
Shut up, call the lawyer, and if that means you have to sit in jail all weekend, so be it.
Yep, lawyer
Yeah.
up.
Exactly. You gotta sit if you gotta sit in jail for the weekend or a week or whatever it is, fuck it. Sit in jail for a weekend or a week. Keep your fucking mouth shut.
Let that lawyer do what. Yeah, you're not a lawyer. You know, the thing is, you can you bite the bullet. You hire the lawyer. You tell them
Your audio went bad. Your audio went bad. Okay, you're better now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was covering it up with my hand, but yeah, let like Scotsman said, shut up, let the lawyers take care of it, and yeah, you're not gonna, just like people think they're gonna argue their way out of a ticket. If you're talking to that cop and you say, yeah, can you cut me a break, and he says no, it's gonna cost you $200. Shouldn't have been speeding. Yeah.
No, if you're on the side of the road and they're trying to hand you a ticket, you take the ticket, you walk away, and if you want to, you go fight it in court. Don't sit there and try to fight it on the side of the road.
No, don't even go that route. Just be polite. Yes, sir. No, sir. Usually you'll get off and they'll just let you go. So
and we watch it all the time. You know, the cops pull somebody over for something stupid because they're searching. A, they're looking for criminals. B, they're looking for drunk drivers. And C, they're just looking to pad their ticket book. And
quota.
They pull you over. Yeah, and you get these people that are going to argue with them. And they turn a friggin' stupid little $500 misdemeanor ticket into a fucking felony.
Drama.
2 years in jail.
I had a cop pull me over at 2:00 in the morning. This was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I got off work super early. We were supposed to be working all the way through the night, and I managed to get out like 2:30, whatever it was. And I'm driving home, and I get pulled over, and the cop goes, you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, no, officer, I got off work, driving home, whatever. And he's like, well, you kind of went over the edge of the line there a little bit. And I'm like, here we go. He's searching. Here we go. He's going for fucking DUI. Here we go.
Are you sure you didn't have a few beers?
And he's like, so where are you coming from? I'm like, officer, I just told you. I literally got off work. I'm driving home. He's like, well, where you live? You just asked for my license, officer. You have my license. You have my address. You can literally see where the fuck I'm going. And he just kind of sits there and looks at my license. He goes, okay. let me go back and just check this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, whatever, do what you got to do. He comes back and he's like, well, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm like, dude, I'm literally going home. I'm tired. It's 2:30 in the morning, whatever it is. I'm literally fucking tired going home. I'm sorry if I kind of went over the line just a little bit. I'll pay more attention, Let me just go home. And, I was courteous with him. He was courteous to me. We joked around a little bit back and forth, and he let me go. You just got to be careful about what you say, and, don't
Just be
try not
polite.
to be too much of a dick. It's going to happen because you're getting pulled over. You're going to be a little bit of a dick, but try not to be too much of a dick.
No, I've gotten away with so much stuff just being polite. Yes, sir. No, sir. Sorry about that. And boom, I've gotten away with. Oh man, I could name a ton of stories. I already told one when I had a van full of targets shot up and guns laying on the seat and everything, and my tabs were expired because the state didn't send me a notification I need tabs. The guy let me off. I had guns and everything all over the place. Yeah.
Jeff,
I was yes sir, no sir. Here you go. Thank you. Whatever. I'll take it. Boom. Let me off like nothing.
Jeff, usually those stories go, I'm a sovereign citizen. And it ends like, please stop shocking me. Please stop shocking me.
Oh, I hate those guys that think they're, I think oh my gosh. That's the last thing a cop wants to deal with. Just yes, sir, no, sir. Here's my information, my insurance.
How do they get people to believe that shit?
Gosh, people make it so tough. And I've never been hammered by cops, no matter what I did, because I was polite about it. And when I was younger, I deserved it. But they let us off. Even when I had a case of beer, I was holding a case of beer. Uncle John's in the side chat, by the way. He can't reply. I'm on Uncle John's motorcycle in the back. I'm underage, and I have a full whole case of beer I'm holding. And they're all doing wheelies at the stoplight, and the cop pulls them over. And that was the one time I gave the cop shit, and I should have kept my mouth shut. So the beer went down the drain. Yeah.
You're talking about doing
After that, I grew up. Everything is yes, sir, no, sir. Don't give them shit. They don't need the shit anyway. They pulled you over for a reason. And
Maybe.
I've been lucky.
I mean, you do get the ones that are just pulling you over to be pricks completely. So you gotta take that tit for tat. You always don't know.
Okay, there he is. Now I found a video where State Patrol pulls everyone over right at my exit off the freeway, and the speed limit is 80 miles an hour, and people are going 90. And once you get so many miles per hour over, it's really a big deal. And one guy was going 105, right? And this is right at my exit when you get off the freeway to go to my house. And so now I know who that trooper is because it was within so many days. And I've seen the guy there and everything. And these people, the people going 90 or whatever, he pulls them over and he says, okay, I'm just going to write you down for this. He gives them a big deduction. Okay. So it's not going to cost them much at all, but just try and keep it. And it was such a great video because he covered everyone. And some people talk shit. One guy was an Indian from India, a taxi driver with a rental car, and he says, I'm a taxi driver. That's going to affect my livelihood and everything. Well, son of a bitch, Anyway, that guy got a little bit. Anyway, the trooper, what I'm saying is the trooper was super cool. If you're cool to him, he's just going to write you a few over, okay? And he let a lot of people go because they were cool about it. And now I know who this trooper's name is. And if he pulls me over, I'm going to say, "Oh, I've seen you on YouTube."
We had looked like there was a pit maneuver done just down the road from on the main drag. So I'm waiting for that video to pop up. Listen, the niece wants to go ahead and go to bed. She, like I said, she's going to church with Susan in the morning. So, gentlemen, I'm going to jump out, and I will.
All right, Rollis, good seeing you, man.
And I will see you guys.
Good night,
next week.
Roller.
See you later.
Thanks for coming on, Rollis. Good luck with the 57. Damn it, he's gone. Anyway, we should wrap this up. I woke up I've been up since 6 in the morning, so.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah. Well, for Scotsman, right now the RAF is on tonight. The Real American Freestyle Wrestling Champions.
Oh, Jesus.
You would enjoy it.
Y'all want to go watch some bullshit, go watch some bullshit.
You don't like the nut huggers, huh? Okay. Anyway, the Real Wrestling Championships on tonight. A lot of UFC fighters do it just because their wrestling background. I know you hate that, and I thought I'd bring that up.
Hey, you know what? Let's talk about let's talk about the amazing astronauts with an asterisk, astronauts that flew around the moon and came home. Yeah, okay.
The biggest drama was the toilet didn't work, and that would suck.
Oh, whatever. The biggest dramas are full of bullshit.
Well, that's another debate, but
That's not a debate. That's fact.
no, we already have other countries that wouldn't want to admit it, but they've seen the evidence on the moon. So Russia, China,
What? There's no evidence.
Russia, China has already admitted
It's all
they've
fucking
seen-
CGI bullshit.
They've seen the leftovers from the moon landing, and it's,
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
yeah, it's all debunked. And those are the last guys to admit it because they wanted to
Oh,
be
whatever.
They
You're full
wanted
of
to be
shit.
there first, yeah. So I guess we have enough gas to get around the moon and back, yeah. And that's the furthest they've ever been. So
Here we go. More horse shit. Yep.
hey, believe what you want. I'm just a square peg in a round hole.
Well, you are a square peg, and we know that. And Tyrone's well aware of this.
You had to bring up Tyrone.
No, you brought up Tyrone about an hour and a half ago.
Oh my gosh.
Big Bone Tyrone?
You brought up the square peg about an hour and a half ago, and that's where it kicked off.
Oh my gosh. Well, just for everyone out there, they probably know this already. I've never been violated. And
Oh,
I'm
no.
proud to say I've never been violated, but
You can't violate someone that's willing.
and that's my biggest fear is going into prison. Especially when I was younger, I was a pretty boy. Oh, that would have been bad.
Again, you can't violate the willing, and he was willing.
Now I'm old and ugly, so prison wouldn't be so bad. But why? I'm yes sir, no sir. Stay by the law, so I'm not.
Oh,
gonna-
you were yes sir, no sir. That's for sure.
Oh my God! Here we go. And we were bonding. You know that.
Yeah, you were bonding. See, you did it again. Damn it, man! I try to help you stop to do this.
I'm
shit. You
throwing
keep doing
the
it.
square. I'm throwing the square peg. The guy was a good dude. He was a good
I
dude.
bet he was a good dude. According to you,
Yeah,
he was
he
one of
was-
the best.
he was
You
a really
wish you could
good-
see him again.
He was a good dude. He was a good dude. When he sat next to me, I'm like, oh shit. Oh my God. What am I
Oh,
gonna
here
do?
it comes. Here it comes. Big
Yeah, he
T.
turned out to be an awesome dude. And I was profiling and I shouldn't have been.
Oh,
Yeah.
you were profiling, but he was profiling too, and he profiled you just right.
He was a good dude. It's a good experience. We had fun. So
He had good experience. You heard it here first, folks. He had
not
good
in that
experience.
way. We had fun, but not in that way. Okay.
Yeah, they had fun, folks. See, again, he's openly telling you.
Let's
Jim
see.
was minding his own business, sitting in that bus seat, singing "I'm a backdoor man."
You guys believe it you want, but
We're believing what you tell us. You fucking.
I don't believe it.
never been violated, and I don't. I like women. Okay, I'm a women's guy. So.
That's what you kept trying to say, but the
Nah,
evidence says
I've always liked
otherwise.
women. I've always liked women. Uncle John's here on the side, but he can't reply. He'll tell you that.
Was Uncle John there? Did he witness what happened with Big Tyrone? Probably not. So no, Uncle John cannot verify.
No, he couldn't verify it, but he'd know the difference. He knows who I am.
No. See that's not verifying. If he wasn't there, he can't verify.
I'm not anywhere close to being like that. Oh my God. Come on.
Hey, Jim, did you see 7-Eleven's closing up thousands of stores?
No. I haven't been
Yeah,
to
it turns out Trump put that order in to stop the small business loans for illegal aliens. And
Ooh,
7-Eleven had to announce thousands of mini stores closing.
because they were illegals owning 7-Elevens?
And getting small business administration loans. They
Yeah.
can't get the loans.
They're
Hey.
basically shutting down about 95% of them.
Yeah, chew the fat, baby. Get rid of all this bullshit, you know. There's a lot of, oh man, you know, just the fake daycare centers and everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah, get rid of them. I wish Doge would be back. I wish, you know, they'd get back together and do more Doge stuff, because that's where you're finding all this. Anyway,
I
whatever.
think they might be working behind the scenes.
I don't know. There's two egos. There's two alpha males. They don't. I knew they wouldn't get along
Yeah,
together.
there's two alpha males. One's Big T.
Yeah. You guys, you guys have your fun. That's all right. I can take it, but we know.
Oh, we know you can take it, Jim.
Oh my God.
Just ball busting.
You guys can decide the truth or not. Whatever.
Folks, you all know me better. I'm just busting Uncle Jim's balls. I mean, really, to be honest with you, Tyrone took care of that long ago. But I'm just busting these balls, you know.
Oh man, a little too much. I had a little too much hydraulic fluid that live chat. Yes.
Yeah, you had a little too much, and we took advantage of it.
I know. Especially.
Oh, it was the easy story to take advantage of and to twist around.
Dude, he couldn't stop saying we bonded. I mean, dude, I kept trying to tell you stop talking, and all you kept doing was we bonded. We bonded. I'm like, Jim, shut the fuck up.
We actually bonded and became friends before we parted ways without parting anything.
Oh, you parted all right.
I just don't like when people try and make revenue off of that. And you know who I'm talking about. He's got to get his shit together, by the way. Anyway, all right. Well, should we end it here, right there?
Well, you got up early. I think you should probably get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, I got to watch these wrestlers tonight and the UFC
God.
tonight. I got the wrestlers and the UFC, and a lot of these guys are in the UFC. They're in the wrestling championship tonight. So and I've had no sleep. So who knows what's going to come up tonight as a video? Oh my God. Just Jeff. Have you kept all the? All right, guys. I love you in live chat. Any last words from the?
Y'all stay safe, stay vigilant, take care, and keep your eyes on a swivel.
And have fun and laugh every day. You'll live longer.
And maybe we'll see you next week.
All right. Love you all in the side chat and everyone that came on tonight. It was fun. And until next time, ready for it?